I gotta get into the I guess you call it the WrestleMania spirit or the vibe. I guess they would say too. I don't know if you peeped though, but you see now I got both of them now. We got both of the spinners now.
Very nice. Very nice.
Who you guys gonna get the other one? The other one. It took me a minute, but I had to get the other one because the spinner belts are very prestigious. They're very prestigious. The US, no, I do like the US one better than the WWE one. I will say the US one.
It's nice for the historic value, but I'm not going no further than that.
All right, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Narcolepsy Boy 94, aka Malik, back here again, giving y'all some WrestleMania predictions, talking everything WrestleMania. If you guys want to come through, ask questions, be a part of the chat yourselves, feel free. Talking everything WrestleMania. Before we get into the card, oh my gosh, Sean, let you plug in your stuff real quick. So go ahead and plug in your social medias. Make sure you guys go check all his stuff out too.
Yeah, appreciate that, Malik, man. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, honor, blessing. It's your man Sean of Hubbard Wrestling Weekly. Check out the website hubbardwrestlingweekly.com, my YouTube channel, Hub Wrestling _MVP on TikTok. We're here to have fun, man. Let's talk about WrestleMania and see what's going on. You know the vibes.
Overall, give me your excitement level on a scale of 1 to 10. How you feeling about it overall?
Well, my excitement level is nowhere near your excitement level because you're going to be there, but that is actually outside the point. I'm going strictly from the standpoint of how I feel about the show, whether I was going or not. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little underwhelmed. I feel like WWE dropped the ball this time. Roman and Brock 3, as it were, or as it will be, seems underwhelming. I like the title for title. It'll be the first time in WrestleMania history besides Hogan and Warrior. But I don't know. The tag title matches, no Intercontinental belt, at least not as of yet. I'm a little underwhelmed. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a watch. I'm a fan. I'm a watch. But I'm a little underwhelmed.
I think the card is all right. There's only really 2 matches that I really don't care for on the card. That is just like kind of whatever to me. Everything else I can manage. And it doesn't really bother me that they left the IC or US title. They don't really care about those titles anymore, so I don't really focus on those titles. So it doesn't really bother me they left those off. The celebrity matches are what it is. It's WrestleMania, so they know that's kind of a WrestleMania thing. So sometimes I don't like to shit all over celebrity matches because you never really know how it could turn out. It could be really good or bad. Last year was an example of that. A lot of people were very upset about the whole Bad Bunny thing, but I was like, you don't really know what he can do yet. Like, you don't know how the match
Bad Bunny represented. Yeah.
You don't know how things can turn out until it could be something. People, I think, have to be open-minded sometimes. Like people, just because they see something on paper, feel like it's going to be something terrible, but you don't know how it could turn out. It could be something really good. Like,
Right.
So I mean, this card could be it could be a good card. I definitely think next year, though, when it's in LA, I think they're going to go all out next year. I think next year will probably be one of the biggest cards you've seen in a long time.
But that mentality, my brother, is exactly the problem. And you're not wrong with your perspective. I think that's exactly what the logic is. I think you're hitting the nail right on the head about what WWE is thinking. But that's the bad part, bro. Like, this is WrestleMania. It's once a year. It's your Super Bowl. You have to come correct. I mean, and there's so many little, just minor tweaks that you can make to this card to make it better. You take that Street Profits match, throw a ladder in it. It makes it better. Ricochet defending the Intercontinental Championship, throw a ladder in it. It makes it better. But they're so focused on Money in the Bank being this big show that they're going to be doing, I believe, in Vegas, that
I think that's the pay-per-view after WrestleMania.
They don't want to spoil ladder matches at WrestleMania anymore. It's really, this show has potential. I'm not saying the Street Profits and American Alpha, excuse me, the Alpha Academy don't deserve to be on the show. They do. But the tag title match is really underwhelming. I'm not a big fan of RK Bro. I never have been. I don't know. The tag title match on the SmackDown side, Nakamura and Boogs.
Yeah, that's one I don't care for.
Kind of like, oh man, like what are we doing?
I think it's all right. I mean, I feel like definitely what hurts it for me a little bit is number one, lack of star power. Like John Cena. Obviously, Triple H retired today, so he can wrestle again. So shout out to him. At least the man's still, still breathing and everything. I know he has
Yeah.
he first time he spoke about his situation, but we didn't even know like he has a defibrillator in his chest now and everything. So like that's keeping his heart going, So he can never.
Let's not even worry about wrestling. He should never wrestle again. Just enjoy your family.
Yeah, he's done. Taker's done now too. With The Rock maybe come back, but it would only be next year if he does.
Right.
So and Goldberg, but people don't like him anymore. So he comes back, and a lot of people don't really care for him much. So
that's like playing your favorite song a million times until you hate it.
I mean, most of the superstars we grew up on, they're gone now. They're old and they're past their primes. And they don't have a lot of superstars right now because they release so many people. They lack in star power.
But again, bro, like what I'm saying is, and I know I keep focusing a lot on the tag title matches. For me, the SmackDown situation was like you're 100% right. Undertaker's retired. Triple H needs to focus on his health and never think about wrestling again. God bless him. Rock is in Hollywood. His only prospect is going to be next year, and after that, it's probably going to be a one and done. Cena, thank you for what you did last summer, but I don't think he'll be back anytime soon. The bottom line is, though, that I'm focused on the tag title match because that's the glaring situation and deficiency in this card. The SmackDown title match should have been New Day versus the Usos again. I know it would have been like for the 1,000th time. And by the way, get well soon to Big E, but thank God he's okay for the most part and will be okay. And you got King Woods coming back. It should have been New Day versus Usos. Period. The tag title match on the Raw side, throw a ladder in it. That brings the whole echelon of the card up. Right now, I'm totally underwhelmed with the tag title matches.
I just feel like some of these matches could have stipulations to it. I think stipulations definitely could be added to some of these matches, but so let's talk about the card. We're gonna talk about two matches that aren't officially announced, but they're being rumored to happen.
Right.
So just in case they do happen, we'll just go ahead and talk about them. This one, honestly, I really don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if you heard about this, but it's been reported out there by Sean Ross Sapp and everybody that Omos is going to be having a match at WrestleMania. And the rumor out there that his opponent will be Bobby Lashley.
I've heard that, and I've heard that circulating a little bit.
And Bobby is injured right now, but you never know. I mean, how serious his injury is, and they never really said how depth the injury was. This one is a little weird to me though, because like obviously you're not going to have Omos lose right now. I mean, it looks like they're really about to give him the push that we all wanted Braun Strowman to get as their top dominant monster. But I don't think you can have Bobby Lashley lose coming back either, because he never really, even though he didn't win the chamber, he never really lost the title because he wasn't pinned or submitted by anybody. You know what I mean? So he still has momentum. If this match does happen, I think it'll maybe it's going to end in a no contest. They'll probably just beat the shit out of each other. Maybe try to get that intensity out of Omos, because I don't know about you, but I'm not really into Omos right now. Like I'm not into him. Like
I haven't been into him. I think he's been overrated since the start. From the start,
he has. Well, I'm not gonna say he's overrated. He has the look and the size. Obviously, I mean that's there. It's just when he goes out there and he destroys people, I don't feel like he's a monster. You know what I mean? Like I don't have that feeling. Like when Strowman did it, I was like, oh, Braun Strowman, like he looked like a monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I want to see.
Right.
I think he's missing that intensity level to him a little bit. You know what I mean? I think they should die down his promos a little bit too. Like to give him certain punchlines to say, you know what I mean? Like certain serious punchlines to say about, and then bring the intensity level. I feel like his facial expressions when he does things aren't intense enough. You know what I mean? I think that's what's missing for me. But if this match does happen, I don't think it'll be a winner. I think it'll probably be a no count out or something. I think they'll try to establish Omos a little bit more of dominant. You know, I'm sure he'll get some offense in, but Lashley will get his offense too because he's big, you know, a big guy and pretty dominant too. I think it'll just be more of like, you know, they beat the crap out of each other. Maybe Lashley spears Omos to the barricade, you know, crowd goes crazy and, you know, double counter or something like that. So that's what I'm thinking. That's my logic, because I don't see how they can have either guy lose.
Well, I don't want to take anything away that you threw out there first. I saw you on social media talking about this match. I liked the video, and I agree with your take on it. I don't see either one of them losing. If this match takes place, you can't have Bobby Lashley lose, and you can't have Omos lose if you want both to continue to accomplish big things moving forward to the summer. There has to be spots where both guys look dominant. I could see Bobby Lashley body slamming Omos. I could see Omos doing his move, that choke slam deal he does on Bobby Lashley, and then it ending in some kind of no contest, double DQ, double count out, something of that nature. Because neither guy can afford or should lose at this stage. But real talk, and not going to take up too much time, Omos to me is very, very limited. And it's going to take a major tweaking for me to be impressed by that guy.
What do you think he's missing for you? To me, it's the intensity thing. That's what hurts it for me. I don't expect him to do much because he's a big guy. So I'm not expecting him to do much in the ring. You know what I mean? But it's just that intensity level. Like I don't feel the intensity behind his gimmick and behind his believability.
Well, with Brock Lesnar, he needed Paul Heyman. Like I think this last run that he came back with,
Cowboy Brock.
He probably wanted to just do his own promos. But with Omos, he needs that. That's what I think he's missing. I don't think he cuts a good promo. I don't think Brock cuts a good promo, but Brock has earned that. Brock probably said, "Hey,
Brock can say whatever he wants to."
Yeah, Brock's like, "Let me get on the mic." But Omos, he needs a mouthpiece because he can't talk. And
who do you put with him though? How many managers do they really have?
No, it's true. They're limited in that regard. Yeah.
What if? I mean, hypothetically, what if this Bobby Lashley and Omos stuff leads to maybe them getting together and MVP now recruits Omos, and now he's with last season. I mean, I know he just came out of the thing with AJ Styles, but I mean, I don't see them putting the Hurt Business back together. But I'm saying if they put the Hurt Business back together and they put Omos in there, I mean, I don't know. That's just hypothetically thinking. I mean,
Omos in the Hurt Business actually sounds pretty good. I never thought about that until this very second that you just said it. Omos in the Hurt Business makes sense. I actually think Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander returning to the Hurt Business. I would love that. I think the Hurt Business should have never broke up in the first place.
I don't either. I'm thinking booking perspective, if you had the Hurt Business get back together, you could have Lashley be the guy. Omos is the muscle, but he's the next guy in place for Lashley when it's time, because Lashley's older, he's younger, so it could help groom him. And then you could do the whole Paul Heyman and Lesnar situation, like MVP, when he decides it's time for Omos to be the guy, he pushes Lashley out. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm with Omos now. You're on your thing. And this is what I'm thinking hypothetically.
And to your earlier point, not a lot of mouthpieces in the WWE, MVP is one, so that would work.
Yeah. So,
but I see happen, double DQ or double count out or something.
Yeah, like I think we have double DQ, so we're pretty much on the same page. This next match. I'm really hoping this happens.
I think I know what you're about to talk about.
I'm saying it happens. I think it's happening. I'm gonna say it happens.
I hope it.
I think the
card,
rumors.
The card needs it. The card needs it.
I think the rumors are too strong for this match not to happen. And I think it's gonna happen. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Give me your take on it. I'll let you start. What do you think about this overall? The rumors and everything. Do you believe this will happen?
Let me start by saying, watching Dustin on Rampage tonight, it just breaks my heart that Cody's made this decision. But I mean, that's his decision. Whatever's good for him and his family. I think it definitely happens. Unless he slipped on a banana peel when he was, signing his contract, he should be 100% healthy, 100% ready to go. And Seth not being on the card is a crime, but it makes all the sense in the world if this is what it's going to lead up to. It definitely is going to go down. I don't like the fact that I'm hearing that he's going to debut at Mania compared to the Raw before Mania. I think that would be better. I think, even if it's the last 2 minutes of Raw, Cody can come out and just make it known, and that match can be made as the show is going off the air. I don't like it being a surprise at Mania because it's not really a surprise. The whole world's talking about it. It's going down, and Cody will win. There's no way Cody's gonna, walk in and lose his debut match. That kind of pisses me off because I think Seth Rollins is better than he's ever been. But Cody wins if the match happens, and it better happen, because if it doesn't happen, then Seth is really not on the show, and Cody's signed and really is not on Mania. That's stupid. So yeah, Cody and Seth does happen, and Cody wins.
Okay, so my takes. Number one, Seth Rollins is definitely not missing WrestleMania. So I know some people are tripping about that, but it's all just storytelling. I believe Cody Rhodes will be his opponent, and I have to disagree with you on. I think they should save his surprise for WrestleMania. He should
Really?
not go up until WrestleMania because even though it's kind of rumored out there, the excitement will still be there. If Seth comes out, he cuts a promo. People they could even tease a little bit. You could even have somebody else come out or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I think how many real surprises have they really had at WrestleMania? You know what I mean? Like the Hardys is one, but like how many can you really think of happened like at the show?
But you know what I'm worried about if that happens, Malik? What I'm worried about is that if Seth comes out and does a promo, which can very likely happen, and Cody just interrupts him, it could be just a WrestleMania fight and not a WrestleMania match.
Well, I think either one of it is okay with me. I mean, I definitely feel like it'll be a match though. No. I would say it would be a match.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely Cody wins. I don't see him coming back on a loss. And this is a big addition for WWE. You know, this is the first jump from somebody from AEW going to WWE. And if you would have said the first person would have been Cody Rhodes, nobody would have ever thought that was a possibility.
Right.
I mean, the man who helped create the company of AEW is now with the WWE. And I believe that he left because I think there's something going on with him and Tony Khan. I think the direction of the company is not what he wanted it to be or expected.
Okay.
I think
it has to be something because there's no reason for him to leave him.
Yeah, I think they have disagreements so far of the direction of the company because I heard Jericho maybe say something about that on the podcast he did with Kurt Angle. He was saying like maybe Cody's upset with the direction that the company is going and everything. He decided to move on elsewhere. Plus, the way Cody Rhodes was before in WWE, I don't think Vince is going to utilize him like that now. Vince knows now Cody Rhodes has established himself as a big name outside of the brand, and he knows how valuable he was to AEW and what he did. So now Vince has him in his grasp. So now he can do things with him that, for example, if they wanted to, he could put the world title on Cody Rhodes because the story of Cody Rhodes not winning the AEW world title is because he didn't want to win it because he felt like it would be the easy thing to do for himself because he helped create the company, and everybody would just say that he's the world champion just because he helped create the company. Well, he doesn't.
You know what your problem is? Your problem is you're making too much sense, and you're thinking the way I think, and you're thinking the way a real fan thinks, and you're thinking the way a wrestling journalist like we both are thinks. That's not the way Vince McMahon thinks. Cody Rhodes better pray. Cody Rhodes better pray that this is not the biggest mistake of his career, because oh man,
I don't think Cody would go back if he didn't know he would be.
What can he do once he puts his name on the dotted line?
But there's certain superstars can have certain things in contracts that are promised to them.
Okay, well, you better hope he does, because if he comes out as Stardust, you're gonna have to owe me an apology.
I'm sure he wouldn't come back if he was gonna be Stardust.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Certain superstars have that edge, and Cody Rhodes, like I said, Vince is gonna do right with him. I mark my words. He's gonna do right with him because of what he did for AEW. It's gonna be a slap in the face to AEW. I mean, this is the first guy that Vince is getting from even though he's already been in WWE, but this is the first guy Vince is legit getting from the company.
The first acquisition from AEW, but that doesn't. But I think you're forgetting how vindictive Vince McMahon can be.
But it would be a slap in the face to the AEW because he can use Cody Rhodes the way that the fans want him to be used in AEW, or maybe the fans didn't even want him to be used. Like he could push Cody Rhodes to the moon and shove him down our throats purposely. Just to piss the fans off, to show them. Like, hey, you know what? This is what you guys didn't want to see in AEW, but I'm gonna do this here because I can do this here. Because like I said, Cody doesn't have control in WWE. So him going after the world title wouldn't be a bad thing because it's not like, he has the power to put the title on himself. If he's the world champion, it's because Vince wants him to be the world champion. It's not like AEW where people can be like, hey, you're only the world champion because you're the executive, whatever, in AEW. It's different. Cody Rhodes is not the same Cody Rhodes that he was 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, I know that, and you know that. I know that, and you know that. Educated fans and wrestling journalists all around the world know that. But Vince does what Vince wants to do. And I'm not saying, look, for the whole world that's watching, if I had a chance to work for Vince, it would be an honor. But Vince is a vindictive person. Vince will put Cody at the mid card in the same way you're talking about. He'll utilize him in the right way. He'll utilize him in the wrong way. He'll make a point that Cody's nothing but mid card in WWE, and he was over there running the show in AEW. I hope you're right. I don't think you are. I think you're wrong. But I hope to God you're right, because Cody Rhodes is going to get a hero's welcome when he comes out at WrestleMania. It's going to be probably a great match with Seth, or a great fight. I hope it's a match. And then 2 months from now, we'll be talking about how Cody Rhodes is wrestling for the United States Championship in the first segment of Raw.
I'm not saying Cody will be a top guy level, but he's
He
not
should
gonna.
be. He should be.
He
He's
should he
earned
should
it.
be, but he's not. He's not gonna be in the position where he's a Stardust or he's just a nobody. He's gonna be
And
doing something.
I'm saying to you, my brother, I hope you're right.
I don't think he would have come back unless he know something would be going down for his career.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, brother. I hope you're right. I've never hoped you were right more than I hope you're right now, because I have my doubts. I'm very concerned about the career of Cody Rhodes.
I mean, I get your point, but I'm not too concerned about it. Like I said, I don't think he would come back unless he knew something was gonna be right for his career. You know what I mean? Like he would have to know, like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna be doing Stardust. I can't be doing like I don't mind doing this and that, but like this is where I need to know at least I'm gonna be important to the product. I can't go back to what I was before. You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't have to sign a long-term deal. It could have been like, hey, I'll sign for 1 year, see how this year goes. You feel me? We'll get the fill out for a year, and then after a year, we'll talk again. You feel me? It's kind of like what Brock does. So let's sign a short deal, then we'll talk afterwards. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's more like I said. The reason I think he's going to be utilized is because of the AEW effect.
Okay,
that's big. I mean, obviously, I think we all expected maybe people from AEW to go to WWE at some point. You know,
eventually MJF's probably going to go.
Yeah, and MJF probably go, but like nobody ever thought Cody would be one of them. You know what I mean? So like, this is a big thing, and I think Vince sees that. Vince could be smart when he wants to be smart about things. You know, certain people that he got from WCW, maybe people didn't thought they were going to utilize them. Jericho's one of them. Like Jericho,
you're right.
He made Jericho the first undisputed champion, for God's sakes. You know what I'm saying?
It has the potential to be great. Like I said, as long as it's no Stardust. But the thing is also, it shouldn't even be dashing Cody Rhodes. It should be the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Nothing else. That's all it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be dashing Cody Rhodes. It shouldn't be Stardust. It shouldn't be the tag team with Ted DiBiase. It should be nothing. It shouldn't be Legacy. It should be straight up American Nightmare.
This match would be an amazing match though.
Please! It has the potential to be a show stealer.
I did. Okay, so I heard a rumor about this match though. I don't know.
What you got?
Spoil it, or you want me to spoil it?
No, I don't mind. I'll watch anyway. It doesn't bother me.
Now this is only a rumor. I'm not saying this is true. This is just what I saw. Supposedly, the winner of this match will be the next person in line to face the world champion between Brock and Roman and Money in the Bank.
That wouldn't bother me.
That's the rumor. I'm not saying I don't know if that's true or not though. It's just what I heard.
That wouldn't bother me at all. If that's the case, then that's fine.
No, that wouldn't bother me at all either. But that's just what I heard. I don't know if that's true.
And 9 times out of 10, it would be Cody because Seth just had the title shot at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they keep him like, that's gonna be insane. All right.
No, I'm with you.
Good.
No, I'm saying I'm with you. I agree with you.
So let's get into the official card. We'll talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship first, and then we'll get into the other stuff. Feel free to guys leave your predictions in the comment section. We'll start with Rousey versus Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I'll start and I'll let you go. So I like this match, honestly. I feel like this will be a good match. Actually, I know this can be a good match because they've had a great match before at Survivor Series back in 2018.
Right.
I know some people aren't really into this just because of the two women that are in the match. A lot of people don't like Charlotte Flair. A lot of people don't like Ronda Rousey either. But this match, I think, will be amazing. I definitely have Ronda winning. Definitely don't see her winning the Royal Rumble for nothing, especially coming back to lose. I think she wins. And gets probably the same push that she got as the Raw Women's Champion this time on SmackDown. But I think this will be a really good match, though, man. I know some people got to be open-minded. Some people are like, oh, I'm not into the storyline. I'm not into this. I think this match strictly is just for match quality for me. The storyline has been iffy, but I'm looking outside the box and looking at the picture of like, I want to see how the match quality will be. I'm looking more towards that. And I think the match quality can be great. People can say what they want about Charlotte, but she's one of the best, if not the best in the company when it comes to the women's division.
Right.
And Ronda Rousey is up there too. She's not bad, as people I think
no, not at all
make her out to be. She's really good in the ring. She's had great matches before, and I think this will be a damn good match. I thought this was going to be the main event of WrestleMania Night 1, but from what I heard, it's not. So, I got Ronda winning though. So I'll let you touch.
I think Ronda wins as well. I think the resentment that some of the fans have for Ronda is the fact that, she's been away for a couple of years, but she's a mother. She had a baby, and then coming back to win the Royal Rumble. A lot of people thought, even though the temperature has changed on Bianca Belair, I think Bianca's great, and I'm a huge fan of hers. But I'd say a quarter of the wrestling community is kind of turned on Bianca a little bit. But the resentment for Ronda, a lot of people feel like that was either Bayley's, even though Bayley, I guess, is not cleared yet, or Sasha's, or possibly Bianca Belair's Royal Rumble to win, and then kind of Ronda Rousey came out of nowhere and kind of won it. Even though that is something you predicted. Shout out!
I said it was gonna happen. Yeah, too.
You did predict that. She wins. She should win. Unless WWE is going to manipulate it to make sure that Charlotte has another WrestleMania moment. Charlotte's never main evented a WrestleMania that she won. She was part of the first one. She lost. No decision. She was the third party in that pin with Becky and Ronda.
I heard this wasn't going to main event night one though.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, okay. Well, I thought that was a done deal, but you can let me know who you heard is going to be the main event. But
we'll get to that. Match. We'll get to it next.
No doubt. But yeah, I'm all about Ronda Rousey as long as they keep her realistic. To me, the problem with Charlotte is that she's become unrealistic. She is not her father. She is going to go down as a Hall of Fame competitor. She's earned that. She's not just living off her father's name. But the problem is that Charlotte gets these questionable victories that a lot of people make her. It makes people kind of look at her like, just Jesus, like, I mean, let's be fair. Like, what? Let's spread the wealth a little bit. Yeah. Ronda Rousey trumps Charlotte in star power because of her MMA background. I think Ronda winning this match makes the most sense. So I'm hoping that that's what they go with, the thing that makes the most sense. I predict Ronda wins.
Yeah, see, I think I'm with you. I don't dislike Charlotte. She's an amazing talent. I just don't like the way they book her.
Right, exactly.
Like, she's already got 13 world titles. That's insane to me. And she's in the prime of her career. So like,
I think 16 is their goal. I think that's what they're trying to do.
I think it's going to be beyond that. I mean, she's in her mid 30s. She's already a 13-time world champion, and she's only in her prime. You know what I mean? It's like she's going to have more title reigns after this. So it's like, how many title reigns are you going to give her? Right. And what bothers me about her championship reigns too is they feel meaningless. You know, out of all the 4 horsewomen, Becky, Bayley, Sasha, they've all had one world championship reign that was phenomenal, fantastic, that we all remember.
I agree.
Charlotte hasn't had that. She'll win the championship and then hold it for a month and then lose it, and then she'll win it back. And then she'll win it back a month later, and then she'll lose it 2 weeks later, win it back the next week. It's like they're just giving her championship win just to add on to
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
I just feel like the way they book her, it just upsets a lot of people like myself, but she's an amazing talent, though, no doubt. She's one of the best.
While we're talking about this, I want to give you're gonna be like, where are you going with this? But it'll make sense in a second. Big shout out to John Cena. I've not gotten any confirmation of this. I've been looking it up, doing research. I just genuinely believe, if I were a betting man, I would genuinely believe that John Cena just did not want to be a 17-time champion. I believe that. I believe that when he got his 16th title, which I think was 2018, if I'm not mistaken, or 2017, whenever that was, I believe that he could have won at least one more between then and now, even wrestling part-time. And I just believe that John Cena probably was sitting in a room with Vince or whoever else and said, I don't want to beat Ric Flair. And I don't have any proof of that. No, I just believe that's something that he did. And if that's the case, if that ever comes out, I'll respect him even more. But Charlotte, she's going to be a 20-time champion, which is kind of ridiculous.
So the next thing I'm going to show you is what I heard is going to be main eventing night one. This is what I heard. I don't know if it's true. It's the Kevin Owens show with Steve Austin.
Oh,
that's what I heard will be closing the show.
That's a mistake.
I mean, it's Stone Cold, it's Texas, so I mean, it makes the most sense. I feel like this being the main event though changes a lot of things for me. Number one, I'm excited to see Stone Cold. I don't have a problem with this happening. I think this makes sense. Owens been using the stunner, everything. So it adds up promo wise too. I think they can have great promos. They can have a great promo battle because Kevin Owens is great on the mic. So is Austin. This I don't have an issue with. I'm cool with it. But this being the main event tells me. I mean, I already expected this to end in like a fight or something. I mean, definitely it's definitely going to get physical. But with this being the main event, kind of makes me think this might turn into a legit match. Like. That's what I'm really starting to think, because Austin said in the promo, like, I don't care if it's a fight, a match, whatever, he's gonna whoop his ass. Okay, cool. But
like a legit match like Rock and Eric Rowan, or a real
match?
Like
I think it may turn into like a match. Like I honestly think Austin will come out with the vest and the cutoff shorts and the knee braces. Like I think he's coming out like for a real fight, like a legit, like
okay,
legit thing. Like that's what I'm really thinking because like he said in that promo, I don't care if it's a fight or a match, and he talked about the last time he wrestled, he lost to The Rock and how it pissed him off that he ain't been able to vindicate that. So it kind of got me like, oh, maybe they do have. I mean, if it turns into a match, I don't think it'll be something long.
right?
I think we'll have spots. Definitely, also would win for sure. Like but he wouldn't lose. But I think that's something that it would turn into. I think I don't think he's coming out with the trunks. I think the trunks days are over for Austin. The black trunks are retired for sure. But I think he's coming out with the vest.
And like you said, the cutoff shorts.
The cutoff shorts and the knee braces. I think it's gonna be like he comes out and people are like, oh shit, like Austin really could turn into like a match or something. So if this is gonna close the show, it has to end to something like that. I think Austin, if they have a match, Austin definitely wins, gives out a couple stunners, drinks some beers, crowd goes nuts. Night one ends in a happy moment for Texas. So
if that's the case, then the night's definitely going to end with Stone Cold drinking beer in the middle of the ring with Kevin Owens laying on his back.
Who knows? It may even give you Attitude Era vibes. You may feel like, oh man, I'm back in the Attitude Era again.
Oh no, like I love. Listen, the fact that Austin's even being talked about right now just gives me chills. I love it, but I don't think you should take away a main event slot for it. But then again, it is Austin and it is Texas. The segment, whether it's in the middle of the card or main event, like you've heard, that's possibly a rumor. It's going to end with Stone Cold on the ropes, drinking beer, and the crowd going crazy with Kevin Owens laying on his back. I would like to see it actually be a match, even if it's 5 minutes. As I've gotten older, I'm in my 30s now. If you had asked me 10 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, Austin, come back. I want him to be healthy. I want him to be safe. He left the business for a reason. He has a bad neck and a bad spine. So don't do anything that is going to put yourself in danger. But I will say this. He's given out a lot of stunners since his retirement. So it's not like a stunner is going to put him in any kind of danger.
Plus, he's been retired for 17 years, so his body's probably healed up, in so many ways.
Yeah, hopefully. But not everybody's Shawn Michaels, though. Not everybody's Shawn Michaels.
Well, Shawn, it was the back, but like Edge had the neck problems that Austin had too. No, he didn't have the spinal hand, but he had the neck problems. He's gone for 9 years now. Look at him now. Edge is doing some of the best stuff he's done, if you ask me. And since he left,
that's a fact. But the bottom line is, no pun intended. Stone Cold either wins if it's a match or dominates and comes out upper hand if it's not a match. Either way, beers, glass breaking, crowd going crazy. Period.
If he does come out with the knee braces and stuff, how you gonna feel?
I'm gonna feel it's gonna be amazing. I'm just happy I'm gonna hear his music. I'm happy he's gonna be walking down the aisle. It makes me happy.
If he comes out with the vest and the knee braces, I'm like,
only thing that would make it better is if Rock was in his corner or something,
But see, okay, this is my thing about the match. I don't know how I feel about it being a match.
Okay.
The last match Austin had was a great way to go out.
Sure.
Has a match with The Rock. They have their third match at WrestleMania, puts The Rock over WrestleMania finally. He walks away. I don't want this to be like another Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels had the perfect retirement, if you ask me. The perfect storyline, the perfect retirement match. It was incredible. Then he came back, and it got all ruined for me. I'm not saying Austin can't go, but I feel like, and plus for me, I feel like if he was going to come back for a match, I feel like it would have been bigger if it had been somebody like against a John Cena or a Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? Like that would have been box office type of money stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which could have happened years ago. But Kevin Owens does make sense, because he's been using the stunner. I get it. They can do great things together. But I don't know how I really feel about it being a match. I would prefer. I mean, I heard this rumor too. A lot of rumors going around. You never know what's true or not. But I heard that possibly the segment will happen, and then Seth Rollins will come out. They jump Stone Cold, and then Cody comes out and helps Austin. And then this is night one, and then
and then it would lead to a match. Oh, I like that.
It would lead to a match on night 2 between Cody and Seth.
Well, I like that. If that happens, that would make me very happy.
That's what I heard. That's another thing that was thrown out there too. So I mean, there's a lot of scenarios you never know, but that would be interesting. Oh, snap! Like that would be.
Yeah, no doubt. But to your point about
because that can make sense because Austin has connections with Dusty. You know what I mean? So like that could add up.
To your point about botched retirements, you're right. Michaels coming back was a mistake.
Bro, the greatest retirement ever.
Yeah, Ric Flair coming back in TNA was a mistake. You know, people when they retire, that's why I'm more leaning towards the fact that I feel like it's going to be a fight and not a match. I think that when it's a fight, Malik, I think it puts Austin at an advantage as it relates to there doesn't have to be any structure where he can screw anything up. You
That's
know,
what
it
I'm
doesn't
hoping to see too. I'm hoping it's be like, they just kind of have a brawl. Just let them
because with the Shawn Michaels thing, I think Shawn Michaels was thrown off when Triple H ripped his pectoral muscle because it threw off the whole match, and then Shawn Michaels was kind of caught. And Kane wasn't himself. Undertaker wasn't himself.
They're old.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, if that match DX versus Brothers Destruction happened, in the early mid 2000s, it would have been phenomenal.
It would have been amazing.
But that's just my concern. I don't want to see I love how Batista went out. Batista went out right away. Goes against Triple H, guy who's his mentor, puts Triple H over because Triple H never had beaten him until that point. Walks off into the sunset. He's done. It's the perfect way to go out. All right, makes sense.
He has said he will never come back. He is done.
Man, he means it. Never. He's focused on acting now. So he's like that's the one thing he wanted before he left too. Like, this is all I really want, and I'm done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though Triple H never really got to leave on his own terms, his last match was against Randy Orton. So I mean, in his last WrestleMania match was against Batista. So I mean, he goes up against two guys that he helped mentor. So even though Taker stuck around a little bit too long, the way he went out in that Boneyard match, what a way to go out. You know what I mean? Boneyard match.
A happy accident because COVID going down the way it was. It's like I don't know if he keeps up with AJ Styles in a real match.
I didn't know either. I mean, AJ Styles is damn good enough to try, but I mean, it's like the Boneyard match. What a way for him to go out. You know what I mean? Makes perfect sense.
So I think we agree. Let's keep it a street fight and let's keep it nice and simple.
Next match, we'll get into one of the celebrity matches. The Mysterios versus Logan Paul and The Miz. This was kind of interesting when I heard the rumors about it, and then it kind of put together. So I'm like, okay. I mean, it's another celebrity match. It's very interesting. I get why they put Miz and Paul together because the Paul brothers are like very heelish, I guess you say on YouTube-ish.
Yeah.
Very heelish. I don't know how I feel about this match though. I don't really know what to expect either. This is another one I don't know what's really gonna happen. I don't know what Logan Paul is gonna be able to do. What can he do? I'm not sure. I think the Mysterios are gonna win though. I think the Mysterios win. And you give Ray and Dom their father and son moment, share the ring at WrestleMania, which is very cool. I mean, father and son sharing the ring together at WrestleMania, that's a cool moment for them too to share together that they'll never forget. So I got the Mysterios winning though. So I'm a little curious to see how this does. I think with celebrity matches for me, I'm always curious to see what the celebrity can do. Like, okay, you're having a celebrity match, but I want to see what you can do in the ring. You know what I mean? Because not everybody can wrestle or do things. You know what I mean? So I want to see what Logan Paul can do. I want to see if he can be good in the ring. I want to see if he can do stuff. You know what I mean? So I got the Mysterios winning though. So what do you think?
Late 1997, the Steiner brothers started having problems. There was just like this underlying issue. Scott always seemed to want to upstage his brother. They weren't winning matches. They were getting upset at each other. Scott more so than Rick. And then as you got towards February of 98, it was Super Brawl. Up about 2 weeks before the show, everything seemed to be okay. Maybe even a month. It was brewing all throughout October, November. By the time the new year came, it seemed like they had mellowed everything out, which made people forget about the problems. And then Scotty turned on Rick and joined the NWO. I want that to be the case here. I think that we were all seeing how Dominic was kind of like a little frustrated with his dad, and his dad was getting on his nerves a little bit, and we haven't heard anything about it or seen anything close to it in the last month or two. I hope that they lose. I predict that The Miz and Logan Paul win, and I predict that Dominic turns on his father.
I want to see Dominic do the heel turn, but I think it's a little too soon for me. I don't know if Dominic can pull off. I don't know if Dom can pull off the heel character right now. Okay. Number one, his promo skills aren't the best, and he's still learning a lot. Personally, I think they should have put him down in NXT before he even came up to the main roster, especially this new reinvention of NXT 2.0. It'd be perfect for that right now.
Yeah,
they've been doing stuff. They actually been down there in NXT and doing stuff with Santos Escobar and everything. So I don't know if Dom can pull off that heelish character. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if he
could have joined forces with The Miz.
Maybe, but like if Dom's gonna go out on his own, I think it has to be like Eddie Guerrero type stuff. Like take the mask from Ray, take the legacy, and embrace the inner heelish Eddie Guerrero. Like Eddie should have been my father. I wish Eddie was my mom. Like
Right.
he needs to really embrace it, because it was hard for Eddie Guerrero to even turn heel at that time because he was so beloved. So for people to really hate him, he had to really do some heelish stuff. I mean, he took Ray's mask, he beat him into a bloody pulp. He went after his son, said that his son was his son. Like it's you had to go there. So I don't know if Dom can get to that level. Maybe I could be wrong, but I think the Mysterios won. Though I think it's more of a father-son moment for them to get at WrestleMania. Vince kind of big on those moments. For the father-son thing, he did it for Goldberg when Goldberg came back, let him be Universal Champion, so he can have that moment for him and his son, his wife. They have those moments. He let Stephanie and Triple H team up at WrestleMania, to get that moment for them.
I just think that the seeds were being planted a few months back, and then it just kind of went away. And I'm like, maybe they're setting us up.
Next one, another celebrity match: Sami Zayn versus Johnny Knoxville. I don't care what anybody say. I'm excited for this one. This one being anything goes. Oh man, Johnny Knoxville. I don't know what to expect from him, but he's about to do some outrageous shit. This man has the ultimate pain limit. I've seen this man do multiple crazy things on Jackass, and the craziest thing I've ever seen him do was get hit by a bull, full blown hit by a bull and knocked out. So there's nothing that I don't think he could do in this match. You could say flaming table. I could see him do a flaming table spot. I could legit see him climbing a ladder and jumping off a 16-foot ladder if he had to. There's no limits for him because he's not afraid to do anything. So making this anything goes, I think is the right move because of the pain level Johnny Knoxville can go through. And I think he's going to win. Most of the time celebrities come in, they don't really lose. And because I think Logan Paul is going to lose his celebrity match, I think Johnny Knoxville is going to win his celebrity match. Plus, he's kind of really getting good reactions, to be honest. I mean, fans have been cheering him since he's been coming out. You know what I mean? I don't think it hurts Sami to lose to Johnny Knoxville because Sami Zayn, it seems like the company's kind of really, I don't want to say high on Sami Zayn, but they like him.
They like him.
They like Sami Zayn. They've been putting him in good spots. You know what I mean? So, I'm excited for it just because I want to see what Knoxville can do. I know his pain limits are very high, so I just really can see him doing anything. You know what I mean? So. I'm excited for this. I don't expect this to be like a show stealer match. Johnny Knoxville's like 50. You know what I mean? He's not a wrestler.
Right.
So he's great in the ring. He'll do what he can do to help Knoxville look great and make himself do his own stuff too. But I think Knoxville wins. I got Johnny Knoxville winning.
I appreciate your sentiment, but I don't agree. I agree Johnny Knoxville wins. I disagree with the excitement level. I'm not excited about this match at all. I think his age will limit him, even though I do have a lot of respect for the real life craziness that Johnny Knoxville has done. Shout out to him. He's a real daredevil, no question about that. But in the wrestling world, I just don't. I mean, go through a table, jump off a ladder, whatever. Flaming table, like you said. But I think Johnny Knoxville wins. I'm not really excited about the match. If this was like Bad Bunny, we were talking off the air about how good Bad Bunny is done. That would have been dope. Johnny Knoxville's a little bit limited, but the pain threshold does lend itself to make it believe that there's a chance that it could be some crazy spots that'll make us remember. And that's what it should be all about for Johnny Knoxville. If he can go out on WrestleMania Sunday, I believe it is, and give us something to remember, all due respect. And I agree. He wins. He beats Sami Zayn.
Yeah, well, another thing I think he's gonna beat Sami Zayn too. I expect people like Steve-O and these guys are gonna show up too. Like the whole Jackass crew is gonna help him win. I think.
Okay.
Because they're all crazy. So Steve-O may do some crazy stuff too. I think it's gonna be the whole crew. Steve-O, Wee Man, they're all gonna go out there and
everybody's gonna show up.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a Jackass party probably. So
that'd be dope. And I like Johnny Knoxville. I like Jackass, the Jackass movies.
Let's get into the women's tag team match. We got Zelina Vega and Carmella versus Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler, Natalya versus Naomi and Sasha Banks. For me, it's time. You see the shirt right here. It's time to give Sasha Banks her first WrestleMania win. They owe her a WrestleMania win. She's 0-6. She's helped put people over. I was really hoping to see her versus Trish Stratus at WrestleMania. That's what I really wanted to see. But I honestly don't have an issue with this match. This match is okay. I don't mind Naomi and Sasha as the tag team champions. They could help try to elevate the tag team titles to feel important if they're utilized right and they do something with them. That's a big if. So that's what I'm kind of hoping out of this. I got Naomi and Sasha winning. I think this could be a good match too, though. I like the people that added in here. Give Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan something to do with WrestleMania, Shane and Natalia, so then Carmella. So good for them. Everybody's on the spot at WrestleMania. But I got Naomi and Sasha winning. Plus, that goes back to Team Bad and everything. They got a little history there too. So I think this could be a big step to help utilize the tag team titles to feel important if they do something with the titles. So that's a big if. But I got Naomi and Sasha winning.
Naomi and Sasha win, and I think you're 100% right. Naomi and Sasha, we're not disagreeing on much, bro. Naomi and Sasha win, and it really does elevate those titles. It really brings some legitimate star power to the titles, which I think it's been lacking since Bayley and Sasha lost them back in WrestleMania 35.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this for a second. I like Zelina Vega. I feel like this queen character has elevated her. I don't like Carmella. She's gorgeous, but I don't like Carmella. I think she's a real lame character. Rhea, I like. Liv, I like, but just not as much. And then Natalia and Shayna, it's like, same song, different verse. So I think Naomi and Sasha win. I think Naomi and Sasha should win. I agree Naomi deserves to get her hand raised for the first time ever at WrestleMania. And I think it really does something special for the titles. I think Bayley and Sasha being tag champions was the last time those belts mattered.
Next match, I'm not really going to touch on much because this is one I don't really care for much. But the SmackDown Tag Team titles, I got the Usos winning.
The Usos win.
I got them retaining. Like I said, maybe it would have been cool if they made it like Usos versus Viking Raiders versus New Day. That would have been a little bit cooler.
Well, let me say this real quick. Not to cut you off, I just want to throw this in here at the little tidbit. I've heard the rumor that it's going to be the New Day versus Sheamus and whoever those guys.
Well, it was supposed to be the 6-man tag, but Big E's he got the broken.
No, yeah, like I said, no doubt, get well soon. But I think it's still going to either be a 2-on-3 or a 2-on-2. I am sticking to my gun. Shinsuke, I like Shinsuke, but Shinsuke obviously has fallen off. It should be Usos versus New Day at WrestleMania. I know we've seen it before, but that's the best tag team match SmackDown would have had to offer. Even, God bless him, Big E being off the scene, Xavier Woods and Kofi is still there. This match is a throw together. It's a waste of time. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one either. This one I don't really care for much. So I got the Usos winning. This next match I like though. I like this next match. You said throw a ladder in there too. That'd be cool. But I like
throw a ladder in there. Yeah.
I like this triple threat tag team match. I'm a big fan of all three of these teams. I like the Street Profits. I like Alpha Academy, and I like RK Bro. I think so. I got two scenarios. Either RK Bro wins and the Street Profits turn heel because they kind of been bringing out that intensity level a little bit, so I can see the heel turn. Or we get a big shock value, and the Street Profits win, and RK Bro splits up at WrestleMania, and that'll lead them until having their feud. Which I think Riddle would be more shocking to turn on Randy because we've seen Randy turn so much. So that would kind of just be like heelish Randy, which heel Randy's phenomenal. In my opinion, Randy Orton as a heel is on the Mount Rushmore of greatest heels ever. But Riddle turning heel, I think, would be a little bit more shocking, a little bit more interesting. Plus, I want to see if he can pull off the heelish character. His character is really goofy and really, hippie vibes type thing. But he can bring out the intensity in the ring. He gets real intense in the ring from time to time. And I think a switch from him being a heel and Randy kind of being the face, what they can make it a little bit more interesting. I doubt they'll split up. If I had to really pick, I think RK Bro retains and they win. I think they're going to continue to push for them as a legit team for a little bit until they feel like maybe until SummerSlam, maybe for it's time for them to split up eventually. So I see that happening, but I'm very much this to me is a match that I think is possibly a sleeper match. I think this match right here possibly could be a very good show stealer match.
I've gone on record saying that I'm not happy with either tag title match, especially SmackDown. But this one's not as bad. I still think they could have done better. But I don't hate this match. Like I said, I think you throw a ladder in there, it elevates it a major, major amount. But I think both happen. I think the Street Profits win, and I think RK Bro breaks up. And I agree with you. Again, I agree with you. If you let Riddle show a little anger, because this is how I predict. I actually have in my mind how I predict it's going to go. I believe that the Street Profits win. I believe right there post match, Randy Orton says, "I told you we shouldn't have given him a title shot," and just brushes him off. I don't think he RKOs him. I don't think he hits him or does anything crazy. He's just going to talk down to him. And I would love to see Riddle snap and beat the crap out of Randy Orton. And I think the crowd would go nuts. The thing that I would compare that to, WrestleMania 34, when Shinsuke turned heel against AJ, it was the wrong move in hindsight, but it was shocking. And I feel like it would have the same effect if Riddle did it.
The next match, big dream match. We all wanted. I gotta say, WWE, they came through clutch for us on this one.
They did. They got this one right.
I love this whole build up. I love this new reinvention of Edge's character. I'm not gonna lie, it did pay me that they got rid of Metalingus. I'm not gonna lie.
Classic.
But the new song that he has on the other side about Alter Bridge, who also does Metalingus, is a great song. So no issue with that. But I love that we get this match, and I love how they brought off the heel Edge for this match. I think it's very appropriate. I'll let you touch on this first.
I think Edge. I think Edge's character change is cool. I think it's so far to the left that they had to change the music. I'm not happy about it either. But the new music is fire. Also, it's just coming off the heels of classic music. I kind of compare it to back in the day when Shawn Michaels. I've always loved Shawn Michaels and de facto loved his music. And then he started coming out to DX music. And I remember initially I was pissed because it was like, no more Shawn Michaels music. He's coming out to this DX music. And then eventually I fell in love with DX music too. So I think it's the same deal with Edge. But I think AJ Styles gets the win. I think this storyline, if AJ loses with the way Edge has dominated him over the past couple of weeks, I think it makes AJ look weak. I think AJ has to win to maintain his fire in the industry on Raw. And then hopefully Edge is not going anywhere. I don't know what his contract status is, but hopefully he's still around. And then they can continue. I think AJ wins. I think it's a match of the night candidate, match of the weekend candidate. And obviously you're talking about two of the greatest of all time, two first ballot Hall of Famers. One's already in the Hall of Fame. AJ will be there as soon as he stops lacing up the boots. Wow. This is a dream match. WWE has gotten a lot of things wrong, but they got this one right.
So I think this might be the first time we disagree.
I
think Edge needs to win this match.
Okay.
No matter who wins, I think the storyline continues after WrestleMania. Okay. I think with this new reinvention of Edge's character, with the intensity it brings, I don't think you could have him lose the first match. I think you have Edge win, and then that Pitbull version of AJ Styles comes out afterwards because he realizes, okay, you know what, this is a different Edge. I need to get a little bit more intense and a little bit more dangerous.
Okay.
Then they have, say, another match and another match after that. I don't know how long this feud's going to last, but I think AJ comes out on top of the feud. I think he wins 2 out of – if they have 3 matches, he wins 2 out of the 1.
Okay.
But I think Edge wins the one at WrestleMania. With this whole reinvention of his character and it being like fairly new and fresh, I think Edge is going to come out with some new gear that we haven't seen him come out with.
Right.
I think he's coming out with new gear, different attire. He's obviously going to have a different entrance because he got a new theme and everything.
Now, you got to remember, bro, he can win and not win. You know that, right?
He can win and not win, but the main reason Edge changed his character because he felt like he needed to change it to beat AJ Styles because AJ Styles is that good. He said it in the promo. He said, you know what? If I was the old Edge, that old Edge was weak. AJ would beat that Edge, but this is a new Edge.
Okay, you're right.
So that's why I think Edge wins.
All right.
And it makes sense for character-wise. Then they continue their feud down the line, probably through, I don't know how long, maybe till SummerSlam, who knows.
Yeah.
But there definitely could be match tonight for sure. This is a dream match that we all wanted. WWE definitely came through clutch with this one. So
I think this is the only match on the card, literally the only match on the entire card where you win no matter who comes out on top. The fans.
Yeah, agreed. So I got Edge winning, you got Styles. Overall, I think it should be an amazing match. But
yes, sir.
For the character, I think Edge should win this one. This next one is another one I don't care for either. But I'm just gonna touch Drew McIntyre is gonna win. Corbin loses. It upsets me that I'm upset to see where Drew McIntyre's at right now. Number one, I was kind of hoping that he would get a more high-profile match at WrestleMania. I was really hoping to see Drew McIntyre versus John Cena. That's what I really wanted. John Cena is obviously more busy than he's ever been in Hollywood and everything.
Yeah.
But this is what happens when they release so many people. Like, there's not many people there. You know what I mean? So it's like this is the best of what they got to do. I'm really hoping to see Drew McIntyre back in the world title picture soon, man. I feel like Mounty's spoken high on him. For
Bounty loves him.
he's spoken high on him for I don't know how long, and I have to say Mounty's right, man. I see it in Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has the look for me. He has the top guy look.
He had it in January of 2020. I think he lost it.
He's still it's because of how he's being utilized right now. I feel like number one, I will say I definitely think it did hurt him of how they pushed him so hard in that WWE title picture for so long. That did hurt him a little bit, but he stepped away for a little bit.
Right.
But they haven't put him in any feuds that anybody's really cared about, since he's been out of the title picture. I think that's what's devalued him so much a little bit. They definitely need to help elevate him back into being a big star in the company because Drew McIntyre could be one of their top stars. I think he has the look. His promos have gotten a lot better. I think he's good at delivering promos. In-ring ability, he's good too. He can have good matches. I think Drew McIntyre can be up there as one of their top guys that they can need right now. You know what I'm saying? Like they have Roman Reigns. We know Roman Reigns is the guy, but they need other guys too around him that can fit to be other top guys too. So, and I think Drew McIntyre can be one of those guys. I like Corbin too, but Corbin never felt like a top guy like Drew McIntyre. I mean,
Agreed.
Corbin loses, Drew wins, and Drew goes on to something else. I don't know what he goes on to after this, but Drew McIntyre wins.
Drew wins. I'm going with the safe bet on this one. Drew wins, but don't be surprised if something funky happens. I believe that the powers that be in WWE like Baron Corbin. I think they've always liked Baron Corbin. I believe that he got himself a little bit of trouble, which is why he lost the Money in the Bank the way he did. But I think since then he's kind of earned his stripes. Again, I'm not a big fan. I do believe he's a mid-card guy. But don't be surprised. I'm predicting Drew wins, but don't be surprised if Happy Corbin pulls off a big upset. And if he does, then you'll know that they just don't believe in Drew McIntyre.
If he loses to Corbin,
it's over.
Yeah, then that's not good.
Right. But I do think Drew wins. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if something funky happens.
This next match, I think, could be another sleeper too. I like this match a lot. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory.
Me too.
I'll let you touch on it first. Lee, go ahead. You touch on it first.
I'm sad because I like this match. I think it's going to be a great match, and I think the wrong person is going to win. I think Austin Theory wins. I think Vince loves him. I think this on-screen collaboration that they've been having is not just a random thing. I think he likes him behind the scenes, on camera and off camera. I think he likes Pat McAfee on camera and off camera, but I think Pat McAfee is going to return to the broadcast booth, which means you can't have an announcer. As much of an athlete as Pat McAfee is, as charismatic as he's shown himself to be, as entertaining as he's shown himself to be, you can't have an announcer beat this kid who's looking like somebody in 2 years that could be in a main event slot. So maybe even sooner. But Austin Theory wins. I hope I'm wrong.
You should be right because Austin Theory should win this match. There's no reason for Pat McAfee to win this match. I definitely think he goes back to the announcer booth after this match. Mm-hmm. Austin Theory is young, and it seems like he has a bright future in the company. He could be utilized as one of their top guys, which means he should win. They need to continue to utilize him. I'm not really big on the whole selfie gimmick thing, but I know Austin Theory can be really good because I watched him in Evolve,
right?
The world champion as their heel, so I know he can be that guy. It's just the whole gimmick for me. Mm-hmm. Not really hitting my soul right now, but who knows? That could freaking change, in the near future. I think Austin Theory should win, though. There's no reason for Pat McAfee to win. I think this give Pat McAfee's WrestleMania moment. I could see Pat McAfee winning, though, because of that situation. It's been his dream to wrestle on WrestleMania. Same with Austin Theory, but I wouldn't be shocked if Pat McAfee did win. I just don't think he needs to win just because, like I said, he's probably going to go back to the announcer booth after this, and Austin Theory is going to continue to be in the ring. So I think Austin Theory, when he makes the most sense, he should win.
And I think Pat McAfee will do very well, just like he did very well against Adam Cole.
Oh, yeah. For people, I know not everybody watches NXT, but if you haven't seen NXT, you need to go watch Pat McAfee's match against Adam Cole and the match he had at War Games.
It was a good match.
He's had 2 good matches. So War Games and he's had a match at War Games, and he had a match against Adam Cole, a 1-on-1 match. So Pat McAfee can do his thing. He can do his thing.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited for this match too. Long-term storytelling right here. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. WWE doesn't really do like long-term bookings anymore, but this one's very long-term booking. It goes all the way back to SummerSlam in August last year. So it's been, since August, September, October, November. We're in April now, so it's been a couple of months. They kind of separated for a little bit here and there between the feud, but I kind of felt like we all kind of knew this was going to happen at WrestleMania. This was going to be the match made. I kind of feel like this is one of the matches too that would make sense to add a stipulation to it. Just because of the history between the two, and it feels a little personal too. I think maybe a last woman standing match or a street fight. It would make it a little would be necessary. I feel like it would be very necessary if it was added to this match. What happened to Bianca at SummerSlam, I was not a fan of. I did not like that at all. I get why they did it. They want to bring Becky back as a heel. So what better way to give her heel heat than to squash their top babyface? I get it, but I feel like there were other things they could have done to still get Becky that same reaction. I still believe that if you'd have had at least a 5-minute match in the ring and you'd had Becky cheat to beat Bianca, I think that would have been, something that could have started the heel push right there, because Becky doesn't cheat to win. So if he cheated to beat Bianca at that time, that would have been a huge shocker. Like, Becky just cheated to win. Well, that's not Becky Lynch. That's not the man. What's going on here? Having her get squashed, though, it's just, it didn't sit well for me. But WrestleMania can make up for that if Bianca wins, and I think she will win. I think Bianca does win. I think they have a great match together. 2 of the best. And Bianca, I think they're really high on her too, and I think she'll be looked at in the next 5 years as one of their top female stars in the company. Some people aren't fans of her. I know some people feel like she's overrated, which is, I don't see how. And I know some people feel like she's overpushed, which I don't see how either, because she's only been the world champion once. So like, how can you be overpushed if you only won the world title one time? That doesn't make sense. So I think Bianca wins. Bianca should win. This would be cool if this was the main event as well, but I think this probably opened night 1 of WrestleMania. If I had to guess, I'm not really sure 100%, but I would say this probably opens WrestleMania night 1. And I'm expecting to have a good match. I think Becky's going to put her over. One thing about Becky Lynch, though, Becky is all about for the business and giving back. I know she really wanted to put over Shayna Baszler at WrestleMania when she felt like Shayna Baszler needed that and to help utilize her, but they didn't want to do that. They had different plans. And I know she wants to do the same for Bianca, you know what I'm saying? Because she wants to help create other stars in the division, because she knows she needs other people to work with if she's to continue to be at the top level, So I got Bianca winning here.
I don't understand. I don't think it's 50%. I don't think it's 75%. I'll just say 15%, 20%. I don't understand why this group of people are hating on Bianca Belair. I don't know what's changed, but I know that Bianca Belair is not overpushed. I know Bianca Belair is not forced down our throats, and Bianca Belair has been very organically brought along. Okay, so she should win. I believe she will win, and I believe if she doesn't win, it'll be a disgrace. Becky Lynch, as a grown man who's educated in the industry, I know Becky Lynch is not like somebody that likes to hold people back. I would have loved to have seen Becky Lynch use her. I would like to think at this stage in her career, she has some pull in the backstage storylining process and say, hey, we don't have to squash this girl in 10 seconds at SummerSlam. We don't need to do that in order to get the point across. It went down that way. Kofi Kingston never got his revenge against Brock Lesnar. He never was in the championship picture again. He got back into the championship picture and got dominated by Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, yeah. So.
Yeah. Bianca coming full circle, and I'm sure that's going to be part of the promo package. It all started back in last summer at SummerSlam. If it comes full circle and Bianca wins, everything's okay, But if we get a Triple H Booker T situation, then we're talking about something different. So I hope that it just works out that way. I hope that Bianca wins. I believe she deserves to win. And I just don't understand the hate she's been getting lately. Most of the fans still like her, so I think she's going to be fine. But there's this section of people who just feel like she's overpushed, overbooked, overhyped, and I just don't see it. I think she's great, and I think she wins.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't see what people don't see in her. She got superstar written all over her, if you ask me. Like, it's there. Like, I see it in her. Like, when you look at her, she looks like a star. she's able to do things in the ring that half the women in the division can't even do. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So she has that it factor, if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Last match, the big main event, the title unification match. No, this is the match you wanted to. You wanted to be title unification. Remember,
I did.
Going back at the Rumble, you wanted it to be title for title, and it's happening. Title unification match, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. They're calling it the biggest WrestleMania match of all time. I don't know about that. That's a big stretch, if you ask me.
It is
of all time. But Vince loves those type of trademarks. He loves those type of big trademarks for WrestleMania. This is definitely a match I really want to see a stipulation added to. I will say, I know they've done Roman and Brock so many freaking times, and some people are tired of it and everything, but this is the best storyline Roman and Brock have had since they've feuded with each other over the years.
Agreed.
Roman Reigns' character is on a completely different level than he's ever been, more so than when he fought Brock the first 2 times at WrestleMania. Brock's character is even completely different than the first 2 times at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Paul Heyman is no longer with Brock Lesnar. He's with Roman Reigns now. So it's completely different. It's a different aspect. I'll let you touch on this first, though, and then I'll give my thoughts.
My brother, you're right. I did want it to be title for title. I felt like that was the only way it would make any sense as far as it being the 3rd time they're wrestling at WrestleMania. You can have Rock and Austin fight at WrestleMania 3 times because it's Rock and Austin. Now, don't get me wrong. Roman's going to be a Hall of Famer and Brock's going to be a Hall of Famer. So I'm not trying to discredit them as superstars. But when you have somebody fight 3 times at WrestleMania, it has to be special. Undertaker fought DX 4 times at WrestleMania. But it was DX and it was The Undertaker. You can do that. So title for title, I felt was necessary. Now, as far as who's going to win, people forget Roman has never beat Brock at WrestleMania. Roman has wins over Brock, but he has never beaten him at WrestleMania. He lost at 34, and he lost to Seth in the cash-in at 31. So Roman's due in more ways than one. This would be the biggest victory of his career. This would be the cementing victory of his career and his current reign as the tribal chief. I will go on record as saying I did not like the big dog. I love the tribal chief. I think this incarnation of Roman has taken him to a whole nother level. Somebody like me who was very cynical of Roman Reigns in the same way I've been cynical of John Cena. I respect John Cena, appreciate him a lot more in his semi-retirement than I did when he was active. But Roman Reigns has circumvented that. Roman Reigns would have been somebody I would have said when he retired, you know what, he deserved respect. But he's fast forwarded that. Now I like him and he's still active because this current character is the best Roman Reigns has ever been. And it's probably the best anybody's been in the past 5 years. That being said, I think he wins. I think he carries both titles into SmackDown the following Friday. What they do with the titles after that, I don't know, because then either they're going to unify and Roman's going to appear on both shows, or Roman's going to give up one of the titles, because I don't see him doing a Becky Lynch, because if you remember when Becky Lynch won all the belts at 35, yes, it was a screw job by Charlotte, but she did end up losing the title, or screw job by Lacey Evans, and she ended up losing one of the titles and then held on to the other one. Roman Reigns is too good right now to lose anything. So he's going to win. What they do after the match with the titles, who knows? They'll figure something out. Roman Reigns will not lose anything until WrestleMania 39, if at all then. But yes, I think it's going to be a great match. I hope they're careful that they don't overdo it. I hope we don't see 25 F5s. I hope we don't see 25 spears like we did at 34. I hope they just keep it clean, keep it regular. If Paul Heyman is a determining factor, if he swerves Reigns again, who knows? But I think it's going to be Roman. I think he deserves to win. I think Brock is going to have no problem putting Roman over, and Roman's going to be champ.
So going back, let's fast forward. Let's go back to WrestleMania 31, 2015. Mm-hmm. When they first had this match announced, I wasn't into it at all, mainly because at that time frame in 2015, Roman Reigns didn't feel like a WrestleMania main event guy yet. He didn't feel like on that level of Brock Lesnar. They made it clear at that time. They were making it clear that Roman Reigns was going to be the next guy to replace John Cena when John Cena was ready to step aside, and he was going to be the next face of the company. Okay, that's cool, but he just didn't feel on that level yet. The match was great, though. I would say that's the best match Roman and Brock have had so far to me, still to this day. That
31 was awesome.
Yeah, that match hasn't been top. Seth cashing in obviously made it better and bigger.
Mm-hmm.
The match they had at 34 was dog water. Nobody cared about that because at the time
dog water.
It was because nobody cared about it. I mean, going into that match at WrestleMania 34, people were tired of Brock being Universal Champion because he barely defended it. He was barely there. So they wanted Brock to lose, but they hated Roman Reigns just as much as they hated Brock Lesnar. So
it was a lose-lose. It was a lose-lose.
They didn't want Roman Reigns to be champion either. So
Right.
It was a lose-lose. But once again, Vince was like, I don't care. Roman is going to be pushed to these levels. But the reactions for Roman were so bad, they had to have Brock win in the main event that year.
I still believe to this day that they changed it, Malik. I really do.
They did. They for sure. Nobody thought Roman was going to lose that match.
Right.
Lose that match. I was when Brock won. I was like, what? Like,
yeah.
Okay, whatever. But Roman Reigns. Now we fast forward to 2022. Roman Reigns clearly is the clear-cut guy. He's the face of the company now. It's not even close. Nobody's on his level right now. Brock, it's already mentioned. I've been more invested in the Brock than I've been so long now. I love the Cowboy Brock version. I think Roman Reigns does win. Mm-hmm. I would not be shocked if Brock did win, but Brock doesn't need this. Roman needs this more than Brock does. I think this match is solely to continue to build on Roman's legacy, to further him as one of the greatest. I've said this many times. Some people I feel like are like in denial about it because, you know, some people may not want to put Roman on that pedestal up there with some of the greats, but by the time Roman is done, he's going to be in the top 10 all time. He's going to be in the top 10 all time by the time he's done. The way the company is pushing him, he's going to go down as one of the greatest ever. And I think Brock has come back to put Roman over to help make him bigger. Mm-hmm. I think I don't know how long Roman will hold the championship after this. I don't think he's going to hold. I don't think Roman's going to keep the title from this WrestleMania all the way to next year WrestleMania.
You don't think he's going to keep it till 39?
No, I think if him and Rock happens, it's going to be without the title. I think that storyline solely builds around the head of the table. Who's the real tribal chief of the family?
Okay.
I don't think they need to have a title for that match. There's no need to. That match sells by itself.
Right.
You could have somebody else put the championship, and I think the reason I don't think Brock needs to win either, the person who beats Roman should be somebody they can help elevate to be one of their next superstars.
Well, that's the reason why I'm confused, bro, because what my next question is going to be is if you don't think he'll hold it for Rock, which I think he's going to win that match against Rock, who in the world is taking that title from Roman?
I think it should be Drew McIntyre.
Oh, God.
Drew McIntyre should be the one. You should have Drew McIntyre be the one to beat Roman. Because they put it, I don't feel like they put Drew McIntyre on SmackDown for no reason. Like, what is he on SmackDown for?
I just don't see it, bro. I don't see.
Drew is top guy material. He's top guy level. And they need those guys right now. They need somebody else. I mean, obviously when it comes to
maybe Cody Rhodes.
I would love for Cody Rhodes to be the one to beat Roman. I would have no problem with that, but I think it should be Drew McIntyre. Roman, I mean, when it comes to being the face of the company, nobody's going to be above Roman. It's the same situation with Drew McIntyre can be CM Punk. Roman Reigns is John Cena.
Let me throw it at you from this perspective. You have Roman Reigns, who's in the midst of, in my opinion, a top 5 run as champion in the history of the business. That's how good he is right now. His reign of 500 plus days has been more impressive to me than Big Daddy Cool in the 90s. It's almost on the same level of Flair and Hogan. I mean, he's that good, right?
Right.
And you feel like the guy, after he beats Brock next Sunday, and we all think that if it does come down to Roman and Rock, that Rock would put him over because, you know,
right.
You think the guy that would end a 700, I'm just throwing a number out there, a 750-day reign?
Well, Roman needs to lose before next year, though. He needs to lose by SummerSlam. He don't need to hold the title all the way to next year.
Okay.
Have Drew McIntyre beat him at SummerSlam. That way Drew can hold the title going into WrestleMania next year. This really would make sense. Drew McIntyre beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He's already proven he can beat Brock.
He beat Brock at WrestleMania-ish.
He beat Brock at WrestleMania. I mean, there was obviously the pandemic era, but he beat Brock in like 5 minutes. Like he pretty much squashed Brock in the ring.
Does that really count?
Yes, because okay, even if it didn't happen in front of him, he was going to beat Brock Lesnar no matter what. So that was going to happen regardless.
That's fair. That's fair.
Fans or no fans, Drew McIntyre was going to win that match.
Drew McIntyre was going to win regardless. You're right about that.
So Drew was going to beat Brock.
Right.
Roman beats Brock. Okay, cool. They've never had the match yet. Roman has never challenged Drew McIntyre yet. They haven't had that altercation yet. So that's not something that's overdone, because I mean they had the match at Survivor Series, I think last year when they both were champion, but they haven't had the feud for the title yet. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. Go ahead. I'm with you.
Beating each other.
Mm-hmm.
You should have Drew McIntyre. Well, first off, I would have Roman Reigns get to the 2-year mark. Have him get to the 2-year championship, because nobody's done that since Hulk Hogan. So
365. That would be 720.
That would be past SummerSlam. A little past SummerSlam. So say the next pay-per-view, the Saudi Arabia pay-per-view. Then when they go back to Saudi Arabia in October, whenever they go.
Okay.
Have Drew win there, have him hold the championship, and then you have him go on to WrestleMania as the champion, and then you should put him in a match against somebody like John Cena. John Cena's he's Hollywood too, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to have John Cena WrestleMania next year as well.
Right.
You have Drew beat Cena, which helps elevate Drew even more as a top champion. Roman and Brock doesn't need the title. That sells by itself. It's like Roman.
I agree with you on that point.
Like Rock and Cena. They could do that. They could legit say next after WrestleMania, Roman wins, right? He beats Brock in the middle of the ring. They could have legit The Rock come out right after that, and they could have a stare down in the ring and say no words, and people would just know, okay, we know what's happening here. You know what I
mean? You're 1,000% right. They do not.
I feel like they need other top guys in the company that they're.
But not Drew McIntyre. I'm telling. If anything,
why can't it be Drew McIntyre?
Because I don't see it, bro. This is just my opinion. I don't see it. You know who I see? You know who I think is the second best wrestler in the entire company? And if you think about it, you know what I'm going to say.
Who?
No, I want you to guess, because I think if you think about conversations we've had, you'll know who I'm talking about. I want to see what you're going to say.
AJ Styles?
No. I like AJ. I'm talking about Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins? But Seth Rollins doesn't. Drew McIntyre would need that more than Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is already self-made for me, if you ask me.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes could even use that more than Seth Rollins. I mean, that would oh my God, just imagine if Cody Rhodes was the one to beat the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. Like that would be big.
Epic.
I know some people want it to be Seth because storyline wise, it would make sense.
No, it's not about just storyline, bro.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people in general.
Okay.
Because he's part of the Shield, and Roman's never beaten Seth. I mean, technically, Roman's still never beaten Seth.
I heard. But forget that. Let's talk about just brass tacks, bro. You're a smart guy. You know what I'm talking about. Seth. If it wasn't for Roman, Seth would be the number one guy in the business right now, at least in WWE. Seth has never been better. Never.
Well, some people, it depends. Some people don't like his whole reincarnation.
I know. Shout out.
I'm with you, though. I think Seth's best.
Seth should have won at Royal Rumble.
No, absolutely not. No. Seth shouldn't have won at Royal Rumble because Roman Reigns, if you ask me, Roman Reigns should have beat Seth to prove that he could beat Seth in the ring.
Well, technically, Seth did win at Royal Rumble, but you know what I mean.
But he should have beat Seth to prove that he could beat Seth Rollins in a big, high-profile championship match. I don't think Seth Rollins needs to be the one to beat Roman. It should be somebody like a Drew McIntyre or somebody like.
What do you see in this guy? Like, and if Drew McIntyre ever sees this, like, I would look at you right in your face.
Drew McIntyre has the top guy. He looks like a star.
He's not. He looks like a star in what way? He's a big jacked up guy. Yeah, he's a good-looking, big, jacked-up guy. I don't think he blows me away with his promos. He certainly doesn't blow me away with his in-ring performance. He's good, but he's not. He's good. He's good. Drew McIntyre is good, but Drew McIntyre is not great. Just like big shout out, love him. Big shout out to Big E. Big E is good. Big E is not great.
Yeah, but Drew McIntyre he's not Big E though. He's above that, if you ask me. He has that look, which is why he was getting that push to begin with when he won the Royal Rumble all the way into WrestleMania before COVID and everything happened and all that stuff. And they pushed him back because they were pushing him a little bit too hard. I definitely think they were pushing him a little bit too hard in that title picture, especially when he wasn't the champion and then he was trying to fight so many times to get it back. And he got like 30,000 rematches. I think that definitely hurts. But
you know more than anybody how if you give me enough time, I'll come around on certain things. John Cena. I've elevated John Cena higher in my all-time rankings. I've grown to respect him more because of conversations that you and I have had. So you know that I'm not just going to stonewall people. If you give me a chance to think, I'll give you. I'm gonna be fair, okay? I don't see it, bro. Drew McIntyre doesn't do it for me. Drew McIntyre is not. I wish I could put it into words, bro. Like this dude, he's a B+ player.
Drew McIntyre does it for me, and he's somebody that I would build a company around. He has it for me. He's a superstar level guy. He has the look that Roman Reigns is the same way. Roman Reigns has the look.
Roman Reigns is different. Roman Reigns is that guy. Drew McIntyre.
Roman Reigns is that guy because he has the look solely.
But you know what though? Seth Rollins is a higher level than Drew McIntyre.
As of right now, I agree. But you could probably say Roman Reigns got chosen to be the guy because he has the look. All around, Seth Rollins does everything better than Roman Reigns, but Seth Rollins doesn't have the look. That's why.
How can you say Drew McIntyre should be the guy to beat Roman Reigns when, if I do the math, Drew McIntyre's not even the 5th best guy in the company?
That's because of how they're utilizing him right now. He's not being utilized to feel
important. Forget that. I saw Drew McIntyre win the Royal Rumble, and I was excited for him. I thought he deserved it. 2020 was his year. Only God knows why it worked out the way it worked out with COVID. 2020 was his year, but that year is gone, bro. Brock Lesnar, part-time, I get it. But Brock Lesnar, no particular order. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, all better than Drew McIntyre.
As of right now, yes. That's because of how they have Drew right now in a position where nobody cares about what he's doing. That's not his fault. They need to start putting him in stuff where they care about what he's doing. Seth Rollins is great. Randy Orton is great. You know, these guys are all great too, but Drew McIntyre is can be up there if he's all they have to do is just utilize him right. They're doing stuff with him that makes fans not really care much about him. He's having a match with Happy Corbin at WrestleMania. Nobody really cares about that match at WrestleMania because nobody cares much about Happy Corbin either. That's why I said they're missing stars. They need other stars in the company to help build around.
I respect your
releasing all the stars. I think hurt. That definitely will hurt. They released a lot of guys that definitely could have been valuable to the company. You know, Keith Lee and Karrion Kross and Strowman and Wyatt. You know, all these guys that could have been. They could have had some of these guys face Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. You know, they could have been Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee. That would have been fantastic. You know, I mean, people would have been excited for that. But they need other stars you can build around in the company. Roman Reigns is going to be the guy. Nobody's going to be above him. But you have to have other. The reason guys like Cena was so successful throughout his career because he had other guys in the company he could work around with. He had Shawn Michaels, Triple H.
No argument there. How come that's not holding back Seth Rollins? How come that's not holding back AJ? AJ Styles has been on the shelf as it relates to major world championship storylines. And you could still AJ Styles has it, right? AJ Styles, I'm using AJ Styles for example because AJ Styles hasn't been in the world championship picture for a long time. But right. You know, you could put AJ Styles in the WrestleMania main event tomorrow, and it would make sense. But people are now just starting to care about him again because for the last year he was doing stuff that people didn't care for. That's my point. You're missing my point, my brother. The same way Drew's been doing nothing, AJ's been doing nothing. But I promise you, not on a 90% clip, people would say AJ Styles can run circles around Drew McIntyre.
AJ Styles can run circles around half the people in wrestling in the world.
Drew, but I'm trying to say there's certain people that are Drew McIntyre to me was manufactured, bro. That's what I'm saying. Drew McIntyre was manufactured. Now, we all know that people go through contract metamorphosis all the time. So did Seth Rollins. I'm a big Seth Rollins fan. I think the Drip God thing is the best thing he's done in his entire career, other than the Shield, maybe. But at the end of the day, though, Drew, it's like there's a reason why people cheered Bobby Lashley last year at WrestleMania.
That was for Bobby Lashley needed that more than Drew McIntyre last year, though. That was Bobby Lashley's moment. They needed that to help elevate Bobby Lashley up into the main event world title picture where he should have felt like he could have been for years. Right. Drew McIntyre really has had the potential since day one, like Vince said. He just didn't have the drive and determination at that time because he was so young. He just didn't have it. Right. He leaves, reinvents himself. He comes back better than he was. He has it now. And all the company just has to do is just use him in that spot.
I'm gonna have to see it, bro.
They are grooming Drew McIntyre. If it's not going to be Brock, which I don't think it will, but if it's not going to be Brock, it'll be Drew McIntyre. They are grooming Drew McIntyre to be the one to beat Roman. They put him on SmackDown for a reason. He's not there for nothing, I don't feel like. They're going to do the title unification thing, so I don't know if they're going to just – I'm assuming they're just going to have one world title. That's what the unification thing means to me.
I was just about to ask you, what do you think they're going to do?
I think it's a unification match, so I'm assuming they're going to make it. I mean, Roman said on SmackDown today he's going to be the new WWE Universal Champion or something like that. So I think they're going to combine it as one championship. But if they don't, I don't understand the whole point of the
And
unification.
if it does go down that way, you think Roman will be on both shows?
Yes, Roman will be on Raw after WrestleMania. He'll be on that Raw after WrestleMania. I think they have. I mean, I think possibly the brand split could possibly end too. I don't know. I mean, I would assume that could be in the talks, maybe.
Well, you know me. You know that I've always felt like there should be one champion.
Yeah, I mean, I think as of now, the brand split makes the most sense to end just because the roster isn't as stacked as it was a couple years ago. So if you have the brand split in, it could help it could help a lot of things. It could help increase ticket sales, ratings, and now you can see everybody on both shows. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I agree.
It could help open up storylines because now instead of Roman being on SmackDown and being limited to feuds, if you have the brand split in, you could have Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. You could have Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles.
100%.
Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins again, and who knows?
Facts.
But for me, I feel like they need other guys in that position. Seth Rollins is already there as one of their guys. AJ Styles is now getting back to that spot where you feel like, yes, he's finally back in the singles picture. We need him there. Edge is a legend. Edge can do whatever. He's already one of the guys. I feel like Bobby Lashley is one of the guys now too because they let that whole almighty WWE Championship push helped him feel important to a main event level. You know what I'm saying? And Bobby Lashley he's not on the level of Roman Reigns, but he still feels like one of their top guys. You know what I mean? Drew McIntyre, I'm saying, could be that. He's not going to surpass Roman as the guy, but he can be like another Bobby Lashley. He could be another top star in the company that they could use, which they need.
But what only thing we're disagreeing on is the fact that you have to have somebody. I promise you, if Seth had beat Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble, nobody would have been mad. They would have been like, "Oh my God, I can't!" But nobody would have been mad. There's going to be a lot of people who will be mad if Drew beat Roman Reigns. At least right now, right? I don't
see it. I don't think so.
I think more people than not look at Drew McIntyre.
More people would have been more happy if Seth was the one to beat Roman because I think people like Seth more than Drew. But I don't think people would be as upset about it. To me, I look at it like this. Seth Rollins to me didn't need to be the one to beat Roman because Seth Rollins doesn't need that. I know it's the same thing with Triple H ending the streak. I know a lot of people wanted Triple H to beat the streak at WrestleMania 28 because of the end of an era, but Triple H didn't need it. He didn't need the streak because the streak wouldn't have done anything for Triple H at that time. Right. Beating Roman Reigns again would have done nothing for Roman Reigns because now he just proven that he just can't beat Seth. So like then what? I feel like you need to have somebody in the picture that number one, Roman, whoever beats Roman, I think needs to be somebody he hasn't feuded with yet, that he hasn't beaten. There are very limited people left. He hasn't feuded with AJ Styles, so AJ Styles could be one.
He's wiped everybody out.
He hasn't feuded with Randy Orton, so that could be one. Bobby Lashley could be one too, but Bobby Lashley's older, AJ Styles is older, Randy Orton's older. Drew McIntyre is the same age as Roman Reigns. He's still in the prime of his career. He's somebody that he has longevity behind him. He's 36 years old. He has longevity behind his career that they could utilize. Bobby Lashley is 46. How much longer does he have left? AJ Styles is in his mid-40s. Randy Orton's getting in his 40s now. So how much longer does he have left? Plus, Randy Orton's already a legend too. So beating Roman he doesn't need that. Out of everybody on the roster, to me, Drew McIntyre would need it more than anybody else to help elevate him back up. Unless it's going to be somebody like a Braun Breaker that they're just going to push to the moon immediately.
Well, I just feel like there's a reason why we're looking at Brock versus Roman 3. And that's because there's nobody in the business today on March, 2022, that on the roster other than Brock Lesnar that makes, and I thought Seth too, but Seth lost. There's nobody else on the roster that people would say, maybe Roman might lose. Nobody.
See, I feel like if he fought Drew, people would have that feeling. It's because of Drew McIntyre getting back in the world title picture eventually. He's not going to be out of the world title picture forever. He will be the world champion again. And it's only just a matter of time, I feel like. And Brock, I think this match, the Brock match at WrestleMania was to help solidify Roman's legacy even further. Mm-hmm. So that person that beats him makes it feel like a big deal.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal.
And I think that would be Drew McIntyre. I think they're grooming Drew McIntyre for that spot because there's nobody else.
We're gonna have to agree. I feel like we're going around in circles. I'm gonna respect your opinion. You respect mine. I just don't see it. I don't see Drew as anything more than a B+ player. And being a B+ player is not a bad thing. I sound like the authority. I just feel like he's really good, but he's just not the face of the company to me.
But even if he I feel like you're missing that point too. I'm not saying he'll be the face of the company. Him beating Roman Reigns won't make him the face of the company.
But Roman Reigns is on a. That's where we're getting off track, bro.
It'll just be like
is on a historic run right now. Somebody who ends that run, Hulk Hogan, old school. Hulk Hogan was on a 3-year run as champion. Now, it only lasted for 5 seconds with the storyline, which was awesome, by the way. But Andre the Giant beat Hulk Hogan. That's who ended Hulk Hogan's streak. But Andre the freaking Giant.
But it is, but Andre was never the face of the company, though. It doesn't matter who beats Roman. Whoever beats Roman is still not going to replace him in that top spot. It could be Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins still won't be the face of the company. It'll still be Roman Reigns. Just like when CM Punk beat Cena at Money in the Bank. Okay, that was a big moment, but he still wasn't above John Cena. Cena's still the guy.
I see what you're saying, but what I'm trying
to... McIntyre will be CM Punk.
We're talking about 2 different things, bro. We're talking about 2 different things. I'm not saying whoever beats Roman will take his spot as the number 1 guy in the industry. I'm saying that in WWE, what I'm saying is you have to have, that's why I use the Andre analogy. Hogan losing to the big boss man wouldn't have made any sense. Hogan losing to Akeem, Hogan losing to Ravishing Rick Rude, even though I love Ravishing Rick Rude, wouldn't have made any sense. Hogan lost to Andre the freaking Giant because there was nobody else in the world where people might say, maybe there's a 1% chance Hogan's going to lose. That's what I'm saying. You have to put somebody against Roman that is like, yo, if he loses, it's like, I can't believe he lost, but okay, I get it. I get it. That's what I'm saying.
I think Drew McIntyre is that guy. He gives me those feels. He gives me those feels where I believe that he could be the one to beat Roman. Like I said, he's not. If he beats Roman, he's not going to replace Roman as the top guy.
You're right. You're right about that.
Nobody's touching Roman because Roman Reigns will lose the championship, and then he's going on with The Rock at WrestleMania.
And still be the main event. Exactly.
So he'll still be in the main event. He's still going on to bigger things.
Right.
I just feel like you need to. I feel like looking at all the people on the roster, Drew McIntyre needs it more than anybody. I don't think AJ needs it. I don't think Seth needs it. I don't think Brock needs it.
Right.
I don't think anybody else needs it. They need to help.
None of the names that you would first think about need it.
Yeah, I don't think any of them need it. Like I said, unless it's going to be somebody like a Gable Stevenson or a Braun Breaker who is going to push to the moon that we don't even know about yet.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody like those guys who are young and fresh and coming up, you know what I'm saying? Who I think those 2 have bright futures as well. I think they'll be one of their top stars in the company for the near future. Maybe they use Gable Stevenson like another Kurt Angle. When Kurt Angle first came in, he shot out to the roof. He won the championship like 6 months on the roster.
Yeah, exactly.
Having matches with The Rock and Steve Austin, you know. So maybe they use Gable Stevenson the same way. Maybe they give him – he had the same background as Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right. You're right.
He's the one to beat Roman, which would be huge. Yeah. But as of right now, looking at it, I just feel like – and unless it's going to – I mean, Cody's not officially there yet, so we don't know if he's officially I'm assuming he's coming, but – Cody would be somebody that would be cool with too. I love Cody Rhodes. I'm a big fan of him. I always felt like he was world championship material. Even going back to Legacy, I always felt like he could be a top world championship guy.
No doubt.
Him beating Roman would be huge. That'd be a big deal. That would help solidify him on the top level. But looking at it right now, I just feel like if it's not going to be Brock, it's going to be Drew. And if it's not going to be Drew or Brock, then I don't know who it's going to be.
Seth freaking Rollins or Cody Rhodes is my prediction.
I mean, they could do Seth again, but I think they're moved on from that. Like they didn't touch.
Seth can always say that he still never lost to Roman.
He could, but I feel like if they were going to continue that story, it would just make sense to continue it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Because they kind of let it go. That's true.
They just forgot about it. Like they could have legit did a triple threat between him and Brock, you know, and Seth.
I thought that was a good idea, but they didn't do it. Yeah.
But I don't think. I mean, with the titles being unificated, maybe that it could happen between Roman and Seth again because Roman could be on both shows. But I just feel like when you look at guys that need to help be elevated up to the top, Seth Rollins is the guy to me. Like he's still at the top without a title. He doesn't need a world title to still be at the top.
He doesn't need anything, right?
Everything Seth Rollins does feels great. You know, some people don't like his reincarnation, but everything Seth Rollins does feels great. He doesn't need. He's at the position in his career where I feel like a world championship won't make him. I think Drew McIntyre needs it. He needs it. He needs it to help elevate him up even more.
Well, there's no bigger elevation in WWE than beating Roman Reigns.
Oh, especially as of right now, no doubt.
If Sami Zayn beat Roman Reigns, if I beat Roman Reigns, that whoever beats Roman Reigns is a made man.
I mean, I definitely think for sure. I mean, who knows? Maybe we still got Money in the Bank coming up too. So I mean, we think about Money in the Bank,
which is what I think is going to happen. By the way, bro, I think Cody Rhodes is going to win Money in the Bank.
That's what I want to see happen and predict it. Some people think it could be Austin Theory too, though. Austin Theory maybe a sleeper to win Money in the Bank. Right. I mean, I don't know. We could see a lot of people being in that top spot, but I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it'll be Brock. I don't think Brock needs it. But then again, Brock didn't need the streak, and they gave him the streak too. So, like,
right.
It's hard to predict Brock matches because you never really know. You never really know when he wins or loses. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't lose too much, so it's like
Brock is a wild card, which is why a lot of us, not me, not you, but there's a lot of people who think that Brock might win on next Sunday.
Oh, you could take a couple questions real quick.
Yeah, of course. I'm here.
We can take a couple questions real quick for you guys. If you guys have a couple questions you guys want to throw out some questions you guys have, and we'll answer some questions for y'all.
I just want to say before the questions start coming in, I just want to say this is a lot of fun, bro. Like I love the debates. I want to say again, like I can't stress this enough. You know, me and you have had conversations on the air, off the air about John Cena. I was steadfast. I was like, yo, John Cena is not top 10, right? And then we talked and I researched and we talked and I researched and he's elevated in my top 10. So, you know, I'm not closed-minded. If Drew McIntyre proves me wrong, then I hope he proves me wrong.
Let's see. Chances Cody show up at WrestleMania, I would say I'm gonna give it 100%. I think he shows up for sure. No
that he does not show up, I'm saying 0%.
So 0% that he doesn't show up. I think he does show up at WrestleMania.
Right. No, zero.
Who's going to throw in Bianca for the Rollins Championship after WrestleMania? I would love for it to be Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea Ripley should be a heel, and they should push her as one of the top heels in the company. And I would love for it to be Rhea Ripley. So
it might be Rhea, and you know, but I don't think, to answer the question directly, I think it'll be Becky Lynch. Honestly, I think they're gonna flip the title a couple of times,
or maybe Bayley. Maybe if Bayley comes back to Raw.
Hopefully she's healthy, right?
What match are you excited for other than Roman and Brock? Give me three matches you're most excited for WrestleMania. 3 matches that you're just looking forward to.
I'm excited for. Well, other than Brock and Roman, I'm obviously very invested in Bianca versus Becky. I am looking forward to. I'm also very invested in Sasha Banks being a winner at WrestleMania. So I'll say the women's tag title match, and I mean Edge and AJ.
I'm gonna say Edge and AJ. I'll throw out some different answers: Pat McAfee and Austin Theory. And I'm going to say the Raw Tag Team title match. I'm very much looking forward to that match. I think that'll be a great tag team match right there.
Maybe a sleeper.
Oh, God. How do you feel about Veer? How do you think he'll get pushed? Veer Mahan.
Well, his debut is supposed to be the Monday after Raw, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think they've kept us waiting long enough. He better be damn good because the wait better be worth it. I don't think it will be.
How do you feel about Finn Balor?
Oh, I love Finn. I think he should be on the show. He's not on the show currently, which is a shame.
No, he's not. Unfortunately, he's in the Andre Battle Royal.
Oh, that's been announced. The Andre's been announced.
It's on SmackDown. It's not even on WrestleMania. It's on SmackDown. So
this is what I'm talking about. Oh my god,
it's bad. It's bad. I think I would love to see Finn on WrestleMania, though.
Of course, he deserves to be there. And so, even though I'm not a big fan of Ricochet's been trying to step it up. The IC title and the US title should be on the main show on WrestleMania. The fact that it's not is stupid.
Let me ask you this, since Triple H just retired officially. What are your top 5 favorite Triple H matches all time? Your personal top 5?
Well, I mean, I'm always going to be partial to Hell in a Cell with Undertaker at 28. I was there. Let me see. So Hell in a Cell, End of an Era. That's 1. I'm going to go Triple H versus Cactus at Royal Rumble 2000.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't really like it, but I enjoyed it. I like Rock and Triple H Iron Man at Judgment Day.
Yeah.
You know what? I gotta go 27 as well. I gotta go 27 versus Undertaker. I know it's 2 Undertaker matches, but that was really good too. Yeah. And I'll go just for fun. I'll throw a curveball in there. Shawn Michaels versus Triple H. Obviously, the better match was, SummerSlam 2002 and, Bad Blood. But I'm going to go with a funny one. I'm going to say Triple H versus Shawn Michaels, Monday Night Raw, late '97, where they flopped the European title in the comedy. Yep.
I'm gonna go with the end of an era Hell in a Cell match for sure against Undertaker. His match against Cactus Jack at Royal Rumble 2000. His Hell in a Cell match against Batista at Vengeance. I feel like that's very slept on. I feel like it's a very underrated Hell in a Cell match. I love that Hell in a Cell match. So I'm gonna throw that one in there. I'll say definitely a SummerSlam match against Shawn Michaels. That one has to be in there for me. And the last one, I'll say, trying to think outside the box. Want to be something a little different. I'll say his match against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30.
Nice. Okay. A loss. Nice.
I think that's one of the best opening matches in WrestleMania history.
Agreed. There's only one better.
Yeah, I think that's number 2 for me.
Yeah.
Let's go. Should Naomi Bloodline? Yes.
Should have joined the Bloodline a long time ago. Now I feel like it's almost too late because she's going to do this tag team with Sasha. If they win at WrestleMania, it's going to have to be pushed back because they're going to be tag champs. If they lose at WrestleMania, it should have been done a long time ago.
Who would you want to see face Becky at WrestleMania instead of Bianca? If Bianca wasn't in that spot, if it hadn't been Bianca, which I don't think anybody else, but if it hadn't been Bianca, I would have loved to see the 4 Horsewomen Fatal 4-Way between Sasha, Bayley, and Charlotte, which I think eventually should happen at WrestleMania. That's the WrestleMania main event right there. That Fatal 4-Way.
That's actually really, I didn't think about that. You know what? I'm gonna tag team. I'm gonna piggyback off of that. I'm gonna say 4 horsemen, 4 horsewomen, every woman for herself, or the one-on-one match we should have had in at 35, Becky versus Ronda.
If you could rebook a released wrestler, how would you book the return to WWE? So if you could rebook anybody coming back, who would you pick and rebook them?
I would rebook. I would rebook Dean Ambrose. Moxley. I would have him come back. I would have him rejoin the Shield, and I would have him kind of take over the Shield from within and do what I think a lot of the world thought he would do, which would be the guy to break out from that group, because they were teasing him turning on the guys, and it ended up being Seth. I would bring Dean back, Mox back, and I would have him rejoin the Shield, reformulate the Shield, and then turn on the Shield.
I would say somebody like Bray Wyatt or a Braun Strowman, but I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to go with Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, to me, we talked about looks. Like, he had the look for me. He's somebody who looked like a superstar to me.
He had the look, and then they ruined the look.
Yeah, he's somebody, honestly, I think I'm really surprised that Vince didn't want to utilize. Like, he was somebody that I thought Vince would love to have and, love to push. But unfortunately, he wasn't in there. So
you're right, bro. You're right.
Shout out to Mountie for this question, Mountie in the chat. Cody Orton out of Legacy bag, bring back Ted Jr. What do you think about that?
Let me read the first of all, shout out to Mountie. Yo, Mountie, look at the jawline, man. Down 20 pounds. My 2 main men of this. Oh, okay. What's good, brothers? Cody and Orton out.
He's saying if Cody comes back.
I just caught it. Yeah. I guess if Ted, I don't think Ted Jr. is interested in the business right now. But if he was interested, I'd bring him back. Why not?
This one's right here. HH and Y2J Rivalry slept on. My favorite match is their last man standing match at Fully Loaded. That's probably my favorite match they had. I did not like their WrestleMania 18 match, though. I did not like that storyline, the build-up. It felt very overshadowed and overwhelming because of Rock and Hogan. It just felt like it didn't feel like important enough to me. So, but I mean, they have good matches, though.
I would say 2-man power trip versus Benoit and Y2J is my favorite Jericho Y2J interaction. Either that or last man standing at Fully Loaded.
Let's see. If you could make one of the tag team championships this Mania a ladder match, which one would it be?
The Raw tag team titles.
Yeah, I would say the Raw tag team titles would be dope. You think MJF signs with WWE?
I do not. I think when all the dust settles and the smoke clears, that the powers that be, Khan or whoever else at AEW, make him an offer to get him to stay.
I think he does.
Okay.
He's a massive WWE fan, and I think one of his dreams is to go to the WWE. Now, he wouldn't be able to cut promos in WWE like he does in AEW, but I think he could be like another Miz. He's very good at getting under people's skin. He's very good at doing the heelish character. I think I think he's going to go to WWE. If it doesn't work, I think he's one of those people I think that would rather go there and see how it is than to not go there and say what if, like, oh man, what if I didn't go there?
I believe when MJF says whoever gives him the best offer he's going to take, I believe him. I believe if he gets an offer from AEW that blows WWE out the water, all those childhood aspirations will go right out the window.
Best Triple H WrestleMania match, the end of an era, Hell in a Cell match for me.
Easy. I agree. Even though 27 was awesome.
What's your favorite match you've seen live? Yours is Roman and Drew McIntyre live. Oh, shout out to live events. What's the best match you've seen live? Your favorite match you've seen live?
Got to go with Rock and Cena WrestleMania 28.
Best match I've seen live would have been a TNA show. TNA Lockdown 2011. It was Kurt Angle versus Jeff
You
Jarrett.
had a TNA show?
Yeah, TNA Lockdown. TNA Lockdown 2011. Jeff Jarrett versus Kurt Angle. Best match I've seen in person.
I'm jealous, man. You got to see TNA live? That's dope.
Yeah, man. Best. I've been to a couple TNA shows, actually. I was there. I've been to a couple TNA shows when, like, Booker T was there and everything, bro. Like, when it was hot.
Nice.
Let's see. Let me see. Hey, Mountie looking a little sus right here. That jawline makes me want to hop on a plane to New York.
If you weren't a married man, I'd be worried, but I know you're joking with me, bro. But thank you. He's actually training me virtually online. I was up over $3 bills. I'm down to about 285. It's really a blessing. So big shout out to him.
Let's see. We'll take a couple more questions. Could Cody start a faction with an NXT star?
He could, but why?
It could be cool to see.
Yeah.
How would you book Liv Morgan if she was going to get the world title?
I wouldn't. Her time passed at day one.
So you don't think she could ever be a world champion?
Yeah, but they have to rebuild her. Not in her current state right now. I think she had the most momentum she's had in her career as the new year changed, and I think they'd have to rebuild her completely.
I get it.
What do you think? You think she could be plucked back into the main event spot of the Raw title shot again now, or?
No, I think her momentum's kind of died down a little bit too.
Right.
I think fans still love her, especially her fans. I think they still really love her, but I don't think her popularity is up there anymore. I think her losing to Becky twice definitely brought it down a little bit.
Yeah.
If Cody comes back, what does he use? Smoke and Mirrors or Kingdom?
He should be using this. Is Kingdom the? I'm not familiar. Is Kingdom the one from AEW?
That's an AEW thing, yeah.
That should be the one then.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think Edge's new gimmick will win him a championship? So do you think
if he wants to be a champion, I think he will be.
I think
I want to piggyback off of you, another guy who doesn't need a title. But if he's sat down and said, "Hey, I want to have another run," of course he could do it.
He doesn't need it, but I could see it maybe happening one more time.
Yeah, I would love that.
Maybe one more world championship, because Edge is, he's not a full-time guy, but when he's there every week. He's there full-time, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like he would be a really good world champion again.
He could be champ for 3 months, and it would be awesome.
Yeah, just one more time. So I think it could be cool. I wouldn't be opposed.
Edge still has it, man.
I thought he was going to win last year at WrestleMania.
Yeah, me too.
I thought he was like going to win the title last year at WrestleMania. So
I thought he beat Daniel Bryan, but definitely.
Yeah, I for sure thought he was going to win last year at WrestleMania. That was, crazy. That was the only time since Roman has been the champion that I ever thought Roman legit was going to lose. Ever since then, I've never betted against him ever since. I never thought he was losing to anybody else besides that match right there. That was the only time I really thought he was not winning the title, not going to walk out the champion. So,
as you're talking, guess what? I thought of a way for Roman to lose without him losing any steam at all. It's the same way he lost it in 2016. Let him defend it in the Royal Rumble again and lose.
Yeah, that would be a good way. And that way, he doesn't get pinned, or he's still not pinned or submitted by anybody. You know what I mean? So that's that could be a good way to have it happen. So, but overall, man, I think Mania could be solid. I'm looking forward to some things. I think it could still be a solid Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, I think will be bigger though. Next year, I think it's going to be.
Oh, please.
They're talking about.
I think on paper, Malik. This is a B show, and it would have and it would have to be proven. Like if McAfee in theory tear the roof down, and if the Raw Tag Team title match, if Boogs and Shinsuke for some reason shock me, and it's a great match with the Usos, who knows? But
yeah, overall, I think it'll be good. All right, so before we get off here, we got WrestleMania coming up. Do 2 more questions. Give me your top 5 favorite WrestleManias of all time. Start with that first one. Your personal top 5 favorite WrestleManias.
personal top 5 WrestleManias of all time. No
I'll give you
particular.
mine.
Huh?
I'll give you mine. We already know my favorite WrestleMania of all time is WrestleMania 21. 21 is my all-time favorite. WrestleMania 24, I really love. I really love 22 as well. 31 was one of my favorites. Really love 31. And I'll probably say 28. I was really jealous I didn't get to go to that one. That one really upset me. So I'll probably say those are my top 5 favorites. Not saying the best, but those are just my personal favorites.
28, I was there, and it was a really good show. Rock and Cena won. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna be partial and say 20 as well because I was at 20 as well. I'm not gonna say that because that was
20 was a good show too.
20 was a good show, but it's not gonna make my top 5. 28, 3.
You're going old school. WrestleMania 3.
Super old school. I was like 1 year old. So 28, 3. I'm gonna go with 17.
Iconic.
I like 5. Macho Hogan was pretty freaking awesome. And 30.
30. What are your top 5 personal favorite WrestleMania matches? Your top 5 WrestleMania matches.
Hogan Andre because of the historic value. Same WrestleMania. Steamboat Savage. Austin Rock at 17. Triple H Undertaker Hell in a Cell. And I'm gonna go with Savage Warrior at 7.
Mine would be still probably the greatest match I've ever seen. Shawn versus Taker, WrestleMania 25. Mm-hmm. That would be my number 1. The end of an era, Hell in a Cell would be my number 2. My number 3 would be Austin and Brett, 13. The double switch. My 4th would be Kurt Angle. My 4th would be Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 21. My last one would be Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18.
That was awesome too. Yeah.
That would be my last one. So, what do you think? Give me we'll do a couple more so people.
I'm here, bro. What's up? I'm awake now.
Give me your favorite. Give me your top 3 favorite WrestleMania storylines. Your 3 favorite WrestleMania storylines that you can go back and the story. I'm talking about just the storyline in general.
Yeah. I'll piggyback off of you on one. I think Triple H, Randy Orton, 25 was really well done. The match was just terrible.
That's one of the greatest storylines I've ever seen in my life.
I also think that Undertaker, HBK going into 26 with the career on the line was awesome. And I just want to remind people, even though I was extremely, extremely young, like 2 years old, but the Mega Powers exploding was freaking awesome. So, and that was an epic, like almost year storyline. So I'm going to go with the Mega Powers back in the early days of 88. I'm going to into 89. I'm going to go HBK from 25 going into 26. And I'm going to go with, what did I say?
You said Orton and Triple H.
Orton and Triple H at 25.
Streak versus career, my number 1 for sure. Rock and Cena going into WrestleMania the first year. And I will say Randy Orton and Triple H. That shit was everything they did was.
It's just a shame the match was such a freaking clunker.
Yeah, but the storyline was top tier.
Yep.
Storyline was top tier.
Yep. Matter of fact, I would say that's one of the most disappointing matches in history.
Bro, for sure. That was a letdown, man. That was like, that storyline was just everything about it was great. Top 10 WrestleMania theme songs. Mine for sure. My number 1 is 23. 23 is my favorite WrestleMania theme song. That's Ladies and Gentlemen Saliva version. WrestleMania 17, obviously, Limp Bizkit, My Way. I will say WrestleMania 19, that's also Limp Bizkit, that's Crack Addict. WrestleMania 24, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I like that one. WrestleMania 31's theme I liked. I like 32 as well. I like 28, 26. Those will probably be it right there. On 25, I like that one too. Those will probably be mine right there.
Yeah, I don't know 10. I don't know 10. The original WrestleMania theme, like from back in the day, like I think it's like Linda McMahon's theme song or something like that. Like that's the old school.
Yeah, Lennon.
Yeah, that's like old school. Obviously Limp Bizkit from 17 was freaking epic. And I got 3. And then I'll go with you know what? I really like that song from 26. I used to think
I made it.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah. Top 5 WrestleMania entrances.
You want to go first?
Definitely Triple H WrestleMania 30.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H WrestleMania 21 when he came out with Motorhead. That was iconic for me. I'll do John Cena WrestleMania 22 when he came out with the Mafia and he shot the machine gun in the air. That was insane. Rusev came out on that tank. That was pretty sick.
It was dope. That was dope.
Yeah. Rusev came out on the tank. That was pretty sick. Yeah. And I maybe say I'm gonna do another John Cena one, man. This one's very subtle, but I love the entrance when he had the choir at WrestleMania 27 when he had the
okay, but I feel you.
The church choir and he had the promo package with the DMX with the DMX voice.
I got you. That
was sick.
I'm gonna do the same match. I'm gonna say the Miz. I think that video.
The Miz one was good too. That was good too. Yeah.
That video package about where he came from, going through those big balloons. I think that was freaking dope. I'm gonna say I'm gonna combine Undertaker's and Shawn's from 25. Undertaker coming up, Shawn Michaels coming down. That was dope.
Taker's at 29 too when he came up with the hands with the dead.
Yeah, that was cool. That was good too. I'm gonna go with I got 3 because I can't really think of 5 right now. So those 2, and then I'm gonna go with.
You say Triple H WrestleMania 30?
I said no. I didn't say Triple H WrestleMania 30.
That's not up there for you?
I mean, okay. I'll do 5. All right. Let me retract. I'm gonna combine Undertaker, Shawn Michaels from 25.
Okay.
What was the first thing I said? I'm drawing a blank.
I think you said another Undertaker one, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
I can't remember what you said.
No. Miz from
27.
27. Undertaker, Shawn, 25. Triple H, 21.
That's the Motorhead.
And Triple H, 17.
It's Motorhead again. That was Motorhead.
And then I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair from 35.
Oh, when she with the helicopter?
Yes.
Okay, that was pretty cool. All right, we'll get into a couple more. Top 5 biggest disappointing WrestleMania matches. We talked about Triple H, Randy.
Let's talk about one, yeah.
Triple H, Randy Orton, Goldberg, and Brock, WrestleMania 20.
Epically bad.
I'll say that one. Another one, I would say Shinsuke and AJ Styles, WrestleMania 34.
Mm-hmm. I got a big one. You're gonna, as soon as I say it, you're gonna be like, yeah.
I'm trying to think, trying to narrow it down some. Triple H and Booker T. WrestleMania 19. That's up there. And then another one, a little bit disappointing. I'll say, Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, WrestleMania 28. This is for the fact that it was so short.
Sheamus and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Goldberg and Brock.
I was really looking forward to that match.
Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, Goldberg and Brock, Booker T and Triple H was a disgrace. Orton and Triple H from 25.
I said AJ and Shinsuke. That was my last one.
I wasn't really disappointed with the match, just the ending. I'll go with, you know what? I'll go with Undertaker Cena.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Scratch out AJ. Yeah. I mean, that match for me was a little too late, though. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, it was a squash match, but, like, we waited too long for that match to happen. Right. Like, that match would have been so much bigger if the streak had been around.
Of course.
Top 5 underrated WrestleMania matches. I like that one right here.
Underrated Mania matches. That means matches that went under the radar.
My number 1 for me still is Batista versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 23.
I thought that was underrated. A lot of people talk good about that match.
No, because that match was very underrated because I don't think it's talked about enough. To me, that match was better than Shawn versus Cena. That was the best match on that WrestleMania. Underrated too, I will say that one. I'll say WrestleMania 20, the Cruiserweight opening. You were there for that. That shit was lit.
I was. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
The Cruiserweight opening was really good. I like that one. I'll say Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, WrestleMania 21, the opening match.
That was good too. Yes.
That was a very underrated one that I think it slept on a little bit. Chris Jericho, CM Punk, WrestleMania 28. That was very underrated. I felt like that was a good solid match. That doesn't get talked about enough. And another underrated one that I feel like is under the radar. I'm gonna say Undertaker versus Kane, WrestleMania 14.
Okay, you thought that was underrated?
I feel like that's one of Undertaker's most underrated streak matches. It doesn't get talked about enough.
Okay,
I know the streak wasn't around big then, but I think the storyline and the storytelling was great. Overall, I think it was just perfectly booked. You know, Kane kicked out of 2 tombstones, which back then nobody kicked out of a tombstone.
Crazy.
And then he lost to the third one, barely kicked out of the third one, and then he still destroyed Undertaker after the match. So he still got Undertaker. So very underrated, very good story. Another one that's underrated too, I feel like I really like Undertaker versus Diesel, WrestleMania, I believe 12.
That's pretty good because Diesel wasn't scared and he got beat. I'm gonna go with I think an underrated match is. I think Rick Rude Warrior from 5 is underrated because people always remember Hogan and Savage, but Rick Rude upset the Warrior. I think that was Warrior's first loss on television at WrestleMania 5. I'm going to go with Hogan Andre 2 at WrestleMania 4, the double disqualification. That was very entertaining. I'm going to go with HBK versus Jericho at 19. Not enough people talk about that.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. That's a good one.
Not enough people talk about that. I'm gonna go with okay, I got 3. I can't think of nothing else.
Top 3 WrestleMania ladder matches. Money in the Bank counts.
The first one was good.
I would say TLC 2 for sure. WrestleMania 17, the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, and the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 24.
First ever Money in the Bank. TLC 2. TLC 2 has to be. And I also really enjoyed, I think they called it a triple threat ladder match from 2000. I thought that was really good too.
That one was really good. Oh, I'm going to change mine though. Wait a minute. Forgot about Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels.
Oh, God, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say.
I'm about to replace one of mine. Yeah.
I'm going to say TLC 2. The first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, and Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon.
I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go TLC 2. I'm gonna keep the triangle ladder match from 2000, and then I'm gonna go with Razor and Shawn.
That's a good one, man. All right, so we got you mounted. We fix it. Don't worry, we fix it.
We took care of it, bro.
We fix it. Let's see. We'll do like 3 more, and then we'll go ahead and head off here. Let's see. Top 5 worst WrestleManias. Well, WrestleMania 9 and 11 are for sure in there for me.
9 was trash.
9, 11, 34.
2 was bad. I didn't like 2 at all. Have you ever watched 2?
Never watched 2, so I can't.
Watch 2. It was 3 different venues.
Yeah, I never.
All right, so I'm gonna go with you go first.
9, 11, 27, 34, probably 32. I didn't think 32 was great either. That was dog water to me. I didn't like 32 of that at all. So I'll probably say those.
9, horrible. 11, horrible. 2, trash. 9, 11, 2, 32.
Yeah, 32 was good. 34, I don't know if it's like 34, but 34 was oof.
You know what?
27 was bad too.
Yeah, yeah, okay. 9, 11, 2, 32, and 34.
Yeah, those would be bad for me. Most unfortunate match where the wrong person won.
Ever, like in WrestleMania history or period?
If we talk WrestleMania, Booker T. Booker T is number 1 for me.
Booker T losing to Triple H was a disgrace.
If we're talking WrestleMania, I would say Booker T at WrestleMania 19. He definitely should have won. And another WrestleMania one, I think, where the wrong person won. I will say The Rock beating John Cena the first time.
I'm about to blow your freaking mind. Now, we've had in-depth conversations, real-life conversations about this person, but I don't think you would ever guess that I would say this. Booker T should have won, obviously. I'm going to go with Macho should have beat Hogan at 5.
I mean, that's not crazy. I mean,
Macho should have won that match. But that was back in the day when heels never ended the show.
But like I said, he wasn't the guy either. Hogan was the guy.
Unfortunately.
So, I would say those, though, for me. I would say Cena and then definitely Booker T for sure. I mean, we can definitely agree on that Booker T stuff. That's unanimous.
The Booker T thing, Triple H beating him was a disgrace.
Favorite WrestleMania of all time, WrestleMania 21 for me.
I'm going to give you 2. One for historical significance would be number 3. That's the first one. Number 3 for historical significance. For sheer enjoyment, 17.
For sure. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and head off here, guys. Appreciate you guys for watching. Thanks for your questions. One more for you. Give me a WrestleMania that you think is underrated and one you think is overrated. We're gonna end it like that. Overrated WrestleMania, underrated WrestleMania.
An overrated WrestleMania, a WrestleMania that people really say they enjoy, but I thought that was just okay. I was there, WrestleMania 20.
Really?
Yes. I thought Undertaker Kane was okay. Triple H Benoit HBK was excellent. But other than that, Eddie Kurt was good. But other than that, you had the Fatal 4-Way Tag match. You had
the opening match was cool too. Cena and Big Show.
Yeah, Cena and Big Show was cool, but it wasn't a good match.
Yeah.
Trust me, watch that show with its intricate details.
Oh, I've watched it.
Yeah, 20 was okay, and a lot of people revere it. I think 20 was just okay. So that's the overrated one. Underrated, I think many people. I've said it about 4 times tonight. I know a lot of you guys are too young. I was only 1 year old.
And you say WrestleMania 3 again?
I get it. I was only 1 year old. WrestleMania 3 is WrestleMania 3 is the most historically significant show in the history of the business.
Overrated. I've said this before, but WrestleMania 18. There's really only one.
Because you think that only Rock and Hogan was the only good it was the only.
There were other good matches, but that's the only thing that's important on the show. Everything else is.
Triple H Jericho was trash.
Triple H Jericho wasn't that good. Flair and Taker was a good match, but other than that, nobody talks about anything else on that show. And if you remove Rock and Hogan from that show, nobody talks about WrestleMania 18. WrestleMania 18 is forgotten about. Underrated WrestleMania 22 doesn't get talked about enough for me. That was one.
Triple H Cena was excellent.
Triple H Cena, Edge and McFoley, the hardcore match.
HBK Vince. You're probably right. You're probably right.
The Triple Threat World Title match was good too.
The
Triple Threat World Title match was good.
That was okay.
The Money in the Bank ladder match with RVD won. That was good.
All right. So you're talking me into it.
It's an underrated match that doesn't get talked about enough. I feel like that was a very slept on WrestleMania for me. So
listen, for all you young people out there, I'm 35 years old. I'm an old head. Trust me. There's for all you young guys, you probably won't recognize half the roster. That's okay. 93,000. 93.
It's important.
All right, 93,173 people. World indoor.
He knows the attendance.
Yes, world indoor attendance record for over 20 years until the 2010 NBA All-Star Game that broke the record. Hogan and Andre, Macho and Savage. Just watch it. Go on the network and watch.
WrestleMania 3 it's all right. It's all right. WrestleMania 6 is better if you ask me.
6 was good too. 6 was really good. Yeah.
I like WrestleMania 6 better. But we'll end it on that note, man. Appreciate you guys for watching and joining. Make sure you guys subscribe. Check out all my guys, Sean, yourself. Go follow his social medias. And be ready for the vlogs coming because I will be at WrestleMania next week. So
nice. Have fun, bro.
Hopefully it's a good show. I'll be at NXT as well. So I'll be at NXT Stand and Deliver. I'll be doing a lot of things. I'll be filming a lot of things. So the vlogs, I probably won't have the vlogs uploaded until after WrestleMania because I got to come and edit it and everything. So we probably won't be until after WrestleMania.
How dope is it? Stand and Deliver the afternoon before the first day of WrestleMania. How cool is that?
Yeah, and the deliver cards. I don't know if you're familiar. Are you familiar with 2.0? Have you seen?
I've been getting up on it in preparation for Stand and Deliver. So yeah.
Have you seen the card? You know what the card is?
I know that Braun Breaker gets his rematch, right?
Wait, let me read you this card.
Yeah, I know Mandy's going to defend as well.
This is how sick this card is. Carmelo Hayes versus Santos Escobar versus Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is the brother of the Usos.
Yeah, North American.
Versus Grayson Waller versus Cameron Grimes, A-Kid, or Roderick Strong, depends on who wins on Tuesday, in a fatal 5-way ladder match for the NXT North American Championship.
Nice.
Tommaso Ciampa versus Tony D'Angelo, which will be solid. Probably will be Tommaso Ciampa's last NXT big pay-per-view match.
Should be.
Mandy Rose versus Cora Jade versus Io Shirai versus Kaylee Ray in a fatal 4 match for the Women's Championship. That'll be fire. Imperium versus the Creed Brothers versus MSK in a triple threat tag team match for the NXT tag team titles. That'll be fire. LA Knight versus Gunther, aka Walter. That'll be fire. And then Dolph Ziggler versus Braun Breaker for the NXT Championship, which Dolph Ziggler is going to make Braun Breaker look like $1 million in that match.
You know the deal. I don't watch NXT 2.0, but I've been watching the last couple weeks in preparation for this show. It's looking like a good show. I just think that I'm not going to go into too much detail. We're about to sign off. NXT Black and Gold was better. NXT
for sure. 2.0 is still fresh though. It's still fresh.
So I'm gonna give it some time, and hopefully Stand and Delivers. Stand is and delivers.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys for watching.